next row up here. That's really pretty yarn.
The pink.
The pink, yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be the Yarn Discovery Tour yarn, and it's a mosaic shawl.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's really nice.
I wish I was ready to start the hem, which is going to be these huge flowers. So it's not quite ready. I decided to make a change at the last minute. So
yes.
Hopefully,
yes.
And I have no idea how my yarn is going to hold out, but we'll see.
Yeah, that looks kind of like the pink you had for the Yarn Discovery Tour. What was it, last year? There was a choice of pink or blue.
No, that was 2 years ago, and it was like a soft, yeah, you're right. There was some hot pink in that. It was like peach and hot pink, and
but I haven't used it. Pretty stuff.
When you knit it up, it wasn't as vivid as this. This is really, so this is the yarn ball. It's really intense.
That's a lot gaudier.
Yeah.
But
it's really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty. That was a silk merino blend. That was really pretty.
Yeah.
I was just, taking some pictures of the pile of mail that's going out because Barn Box is going out with the last of the sale items.
Cool.
Sale orders, I should say. Yeah.
Yes, I got a shipping order today, and I just got another order. So I don't know if one of the Barn Box and one is the yarn I got for the sweater this weekend, which is
we're
going into my blanket.
We're sending all the Barn Box out on the same day because the international was a little late.
Gotcha.
And we just figured, let's just send it all out at once.
Everybody will be happy to see it.
Yeah.
Cannot count.
Have you been doing a lot of events with your books?
We haven't really had a book fair for a year and a half. Our next one won't be till September, which will be local comparatively, just down in Sacramento. So that'll be. Hi, Carla. No, she hasn't turned on yet. But we have to go buy another truckload of books next month.
Hi, Ann and Ann.
Hi there. How you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you doing?
Hot, like everybody.
Yep, us too.
And when you say you go buy a truckload of books, is that like just a bunch of unknown stuff, or do you buy estates, or what do you do?
This is actually part of the big estate we've been buying from an old and dear friend who passed away last year. And
okay.
175 boxes back in April. And we've just done processing those. So the family's ready for us to come and get another truckload.
Wow.
So,
and is it a particular kind of library, or?
He collects the same things that Bud collects. So a lot of illustrated books, classic illustrated stuff, and children's picture books. I mean, what you see on the shelves, those are mostly picture books.
Oh, cool. I love picture books. I have a pretty good collection, but nothing like that.
Well, these are the for sale books.
Yeah. I love
all of them.
I love children's picture books.
Yeah, that extra yarn was one of my favorites. And I noticed a long time ago you gave one away in your blog. And I thought, I missed it, but I did finally get one.
Is that the one that's about the old lady who?
The little girl who starts knitting sweaters for everybody, and there's always more yarn in the box. Until some guy steals it from her, and then there's no yarn in the box.
Oh, okay. There's another one that I have about an old lady. I think she makes hats for everyone, and she teaches her little neighbor girl to knit. I'm sure I don't have the story completely right. And then some time later, the little girl has a chance to knit a hat for the old lady when she's really old and can't do it anymore, or something like that. It's really cute.
Oh, that's nice.
story. Yeah,
Out for that one.
it's a really good. I'll try to remember to look it up.
Thanks.
So where do you have to go to get the books, Anne?
Well, this particular batch is up in Portland, Oregon, so it's going to be a drive.
Oh, that's nice though.
Yeah, it's a
Should be a
beautiful
nice
up
drive.
there. It just, this summer has not been any more pleasant for temperatures there than it is here, or pretty
Right.
much
No.
anywhere else.
So
Okay,
where are
Geeka,
you right
am
now?
I saying it right if I say Geeka?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm never quite sure when it's something I
Thanks.
haven't seen before. Welcome.
Thanks. Thanks. So where are you living that you have to go to Portland?
I'm in Northern California, up in the foothills outside of Sacramento.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Audrey.
Hi, Audrey.
Hi, Audrey.
Hi, everyone. Oh, I have to be able to see everyone, and I don't right now. Ah, there we go.
That's better.
There we go.
It's cold enough to wear a sweater today.
Wow.
Wow.
How cool is that?
Like
You're lucky.
65. 65 outside, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, about 30 degrees cooler than we have.
I wore a sweater the other day, but it was because we had the air conditioning on. And when it's raining out, it seems like the air conditioning makes it too cold for me.
But takes out all that humidity, which is good.
Yeah.
So everyone who's finished the clue, what are you working on?
I'm not finished yet.
I haven't finished the clue yet.
I haven't either.
I am what Anne would call a linear knitter. And when I finally flipped it around and looked at it, I had made an error back about 45 rows.
Oh,
Oh no.
Me
So
too.
now I'm trying to become more of an architectural knitter and look at the pattern more than just the written one.
You didn't rip it out, did you?
I did, because it was right smack dab in the middle where you would see it all the time.
Oh, bye,
And it
Jean.
was consistent, 4 times across the row or whatever.
Wow.
I did mine too. I was admiring the lovely left-hand border and looked at it and was like, great, missed across. And it was probably 40 rows back. And so I thought I could just leave it. It's gonna bug me. So I ripped back too. So I'm about halfway through the 4th clue now.
That's about where I am.
Yeah.
Pretty good speed catching back up.
It's a really pleasurable knit, so I'm not minding doing it again.
I had to
I
go
did.
back a few rows, and then when I started up again, I realized I understood the pattern better.
Yeah.
And that
I
was a big
started it
thing.
3 or 4 times before I got it right. And then suddenly it was all, oh yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did sleep on it before I ripped it out, though. I try not to do it immediately and impulsively.
Yeah, that's my
You're
favorite.
really smart.
I was impulsive. I thought this just isn't gonna work.
Hi, Julie.
Julie, hi, Karen.
Hi, Julie.
I haven't joined yet, and I started and ripped and started and ripped. And so I said, it's going to give me incentive if I join tonight and watch everyone.
There you go.
We were just talking about those of us who started and ripped and started and ripped, and those of us who got pretty far and ripped.
What I love about knitting, you can always reuse the material.
Yeah, if you use good quality yarn.
Yep, you can just keep doing it over and over until you're happy.
Did everybody have a safe and happy 4th?
Yeah, it was nice.
Safe
Yes.
and dull. I like dull.
I actually have a friend who lives on a little lake. And every year she has people over to watch fireworks on the lake. The neighbors pool their money and do a really big display.
Hmm.
So it was super nice.
Oh, that is fun. All the fireworks around us were canceled, but my mother-in-law at age 94 was visiting her brother and drove across some tribal lands and yelled out to my sister-in-law, "Stop!" So she stopped. She said, "There's fireworks back there. We have to go get some."
Yeah, the only fireworks we had were neighborhood ones. They went Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Oh,
What's
we've been
today?
having
Wednesday,
fireworks
Tuesday?
since before Memorial Day, but over this weekend, it just sounded like a war zone all around us, and the poor dogs can't handle it. So we end up sitting in the house with every window closed so that we can keep it as quiet as possible. But
And I have a question.
yes.
Well, I am one stitch short and I don't know why. And I've looked through my knitting and the side that comes in looks perfect. And I know that's the only place that I would decrease.
The likely
And-
culprit is that you did a right cross. Instead of a right cross, you did a decrease. You somehow knitted one of your right together.
Easy to do.
That's the likely culprit. So examine all your right crosses and see if any of them got knit two together. And it would have been probably on the previous row, not the one you just finished.
And I was a little behind, so I'm about a third of the way through part 3. And what if it's like 10, 20 rows back? I don't want to.
It's up to you.
Make
I mean,
one.
did you find out that you were short when you were knitting along and all of a sudden your pattern didn't line up anymore?
Yes.
Okay, then it's probably in the previous row that you worked.
Okay. So I should just, I hope so, because
Yeah, if you count the stitches, if you go back to the beginning of that row and count all the stitches in each repeat, you should find it. Like, where is it? And then if you look, and then in that repeat, if you look down to the row below, you should be able to find which one it is.
Yeah, I did that once early on and I thought I just hope, I did almost, I finished part 2. I had the right number of stitches and it didn't come up until the, on row 11 in part 3. So it must be right before.
It must be the pattern then. It must be the mistake.
Well, it must be because
I'm kidding. I kid you.
Well, I want you to know while I'm knitting, I think, how does she know this is what it's going to look like? Because it's like, oh, wow, look at this. It's magic. You are a knitting witch, I tell you.
Especially where it goes from 32 to 16 and it still has to line up and everything. I know.
I know. I also want to warn you that I bought my sweater yarn, and I want to make her office cardigan, which I've never seen before. So the questions will come. I figured I could knit all the pieces. And then
I have a really good craftsy class about seaming, which everyone here, many people here can vouch for.
So when that comes up, that's probably what I'll do.
I'm not trying to cop out on this, but trying to answer like questions over email or
It's
even
impossible.
Zoom.
Yeah, I know.
It's much better to see it in the craftsy class because they get right over the top of whatever I'm doing.
Good.
And the detail in what I'm able to explain, the detail in the explanations is so high, you know, and that class is one that I'm really proud of. It's really thorough. Okay. And then if you have a question after that, then obviously bring it. But most questions can be answered in that video. And then there's another one for doing button bands and buttonholes. There's a whole class just for that.
Okay.
Those are great. I've taken them and they're both wonderful.
Oh, thanks, Carla.
Yeah, and really all of them. I mean, the tips and tricks class has really good stuff, and the sweater essentials class about picking your size, your correct size, and all that. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's
So-
always hard.
That one was similar to, and I took a sweater fitting class from you at Verb for Keeping Warm.
Yeah.
And that Craftsy one is really similar to that class.
It has a lot of the same information. Unfortunately, can't include all of it in there, but yeah, there's quite a bit in there. I'll just see if I can take a photo of this.
Well, I'm very excited to do it.
It'd be a fun knit.
It looks like it. I thought the knit looks pretty simple, straightforward. So I thought that would be a good way to start.
Yeah. Which yarn did you pick?
Whatever it is I'm using for this one. What's the one? Targi? Is that the one that's not washed?
Mhm, yes.
The brown one, just like in the sample pullover.
That knits up really comfy.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm only 3 projects behind.
Oh, well, that's
Oh,
nothing.
3, that
Well,
sounds good.
That's
I'd be
not how
happy if
many
I
I
was
have
3.
going.
Yeah, we've got to get some details set for that knit along, just so I know people are going to start asking. So
I resisted buying sweater quantity because I have so many sweater quantities that I reminded myself just buying the yarn and knowing the pattern is not the same as doing it.
What? What? You can't just put it all in the
feels
bag
like
with the
it.
needles
And it will
and come
magically
back.
knit itself.
Well, I was having some questions too. And I said something to my husband. He says, well, what if we make that your birthday present? And I went, okay.
Ah, nice.
When's your birthday?
Saturday
Oh,
of this coming
Oh,
July 10th.
I'm sure he's thrilled to make sure he gets you something you actually want.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
it was, he's been buying me gift certificates for the knitting shop,
yeah. Which we do offer for husbands who are in the same boat, but it's
gift certificates. Now, in case I just got photobombed by my husband, and you might
I did a
notice-
little bit ago too.
you might notice that our kitchen ceiling is missing, I don't know, a ceiling.
Oh, interesting.
Well,
My mind.
Well, it's not it's not it's
I
not
thought
a
it was kind
design
of
error.
interesting.
It was just a design element.
Yeah.
No, we had this
So I
spot.
thought it was a feature.
That's right. We had this spot where there had been a leak, and we called the insurance and said, look, something's leaking through. I called you first. And they said, well, he said, should I just call a plumber? He says, well, let's call a abatement place because maybe there's mold and mildew. So the spot was this big. This is what they cut out. Okay.
Ooh.
Well, there's no smoke, and they cut up. And the first plumber came out, couldn't find it. The second one said, oh, it's put in wrong. I mean, he just fixed it. Now, 3 months later, they're arguing over the best way to do it.
Yeah.
You can't just patch it. You either cover it and your whole ceiling comes down 1/2 inch, but they would have to take off the trim in our kitchen. And our ceilings are only 7'2" and my husband's 6'2".
A little tight.
Right.
You want every inch.
The other is to take it all down and just and put up a new ceiling, which does cost a little more. But if they have to paint, then they have to paint the whole. It's behind me, and our family room is right there in the hallway.
Open plan. Yeah.
Oh, that's a
You have to
problem.
paint because when you paint the ceiling, they're not very neat.
Do you have attic space above there, or is it the next?
No, second floor.
Hmm.
The second floor, yeah. So,
So you're just trying to figure
I
out
was
what.
gonna get really creative and have you, do a vaulted ceiling so you'd
Oh,
have at
yeah.
least
Well,
in
let's
that
see.
place.
Well, actually, it's the hallway. So we'd have a little,
You could put some support beams. I don't know, I'm not
Just
an
in there,
engineer
just
or an
in there.
architect, but you could put some support beams around the edge and have a little bit of a vaulted ceiling maybe
yeah.
to replace the rest.
I don't know if
Some- Somebody had done that in our house before we moved in. They put in the stair hall, they took the stairs out to the 3rd floor in the front of the house and put them in the back at some point, and in where the hole was for the stairs that went through in the front of the house, they put like a tray ceiling as a decorative element and totally wrecked the bedroom above it. You know, totally like put this platform in the middle of this bedroom above it, and which would have even been fine, you know, like you could make an argument for making that like where the bed goes or whatever, but it wasn't engineeringly sound, you know, so structurally, it wasn't structurally sound.
Oh,
So
gosh.
you couldn't have put anything with any weight on it. And the structural engineer that took a look at it was like, I don't know. Like, don't let anybody like put a bed on this or anything. So then, and they had cut out the closet door to accommodate this bump up, and we just took it all out and flattened the ceiling, and because our ceilings are 8.5 feet high, we don't need a tray ceiling there.
That's so funny.
All right, take it easy.
See you Friday.
Our staff is still here doing mail. This is highly unusual that they're still here. Bye, Jenna. Yeah, wow.
You know, it's interesting because we do have, so this is the back of the house, but I'll show you that the stairway goes from the back to the front. So what's actually, other than our bathroom, most of that is stairwell. But so maybe by September.
Oh, we had a water leak from an upstairs unit in,
I'll be
we
right
owned
back.
a tiny little, like a 400 square foot condo. And there was a water leak from the upstairs unit. And I could not believe the leak happened, I think in April, and they were still fixing it at the end of August. And granted, it was mold, and then they found where the leak was coming through, and it was the sewer stack that went in between the units. So the water was black water, so they had to mitigate that. But it's just, I mean, it's like your house, it's like one thing flows into another, and new cabinets in, this was so weird. They had to put new cabinets in the bathroom and one wall of the kitchen. And so then there was one unmatched cabinet, and I said, would you replace that one so it matches the other one? No, we won't pay for that. Seriously?
Yeah.
Because it's really going to affect the value when we go to sell this thing now. Nope, we won't pay for that. But it was just one thing after another that, you know, every time the property manager or the condo association manager called, is like, okay, what now? And I mean, the condo association manager and I got to be friends over this. But it's frustrating.
Well, it is frustrating because it was the insurance adjuster who called the guy who came out and said, well, let's just take this all out in case it's there's mold and mildew. So he, you know, that's what he did. And also there's more. Our insurance agent retired and no one told
Oh,
us.
perfect.
So after all this time, we finally got in touch with somebody from our insurance agent's office. And she said that she would go over our adjuster's head and would make sure, but we haven't heard from anybody. That was just Friday. Oh, I don't know. What's today? Wednesday?
Wednesday.
I don't know when it was. I am now.
Yeah, see that, I mean, ours was dealing with what would the condo associations, insurance pay, and of course they found mold. And so the mold mitigator, and it's actually a really good idea that they took your ceiling, you know, or at least
Yes.
inspected a little bit to see if there was mold. But it's just, it's crazy. They ended up doing a hazmat room that was all sealed off with plastic with a zipper up in it. And we told our tenant that he had to get out, that he could not be there, that this was toxic. And he kept going in, and he was trying to live there.
Like, the joys of ownership.
Yes, yes.
So other than issues with people's houses, what's new with everybody?
Well, Mom and I would like to take you out to dinner.
That's it?
But here's how you're gonna do. You're going to invite a friend.
Hello,
Summers-
Robert, Janet, and Jean.
Summers are just busy and there's less knitting time. So I, like many, really like the length of these clues, Anne. I think they're just right for this
too.
time of year. Yeah.
Well,
They're perfect.
while the width of the shawl is getting shorter and shorter now, the final clue does have repeats, unlike all the others. So, but the rows are really going to be pretty short, even by the time you start. So just a warning ahead of time.
Well, this is even, I'm doing the small one, but even the large one doesn't have, start with too many.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that we're going from the, from the long edge to the short.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Nice.
It's fun because it is, I think it's
And I'm
motivating.
sure a lot of it's
It
going to
is.
be with you.
And
It
I'm
makes us
motivated to
down.
see, where's this going?
Yep, me too.
Because, you start and you don't have enough to see it. And then all of a sudden it starts to come together and they go, oh, she's changed it.
Especially in this one, the way it began with really random pieces of this and that,
Yeah.
You don't know how much-
And I may now be able to right twist, left twist.
I
I'd
said,
never have to look it up again.
I did consider adding some lace in the end, but then decided, no, it's got enough going on. But there's really a lot of ideas you could keep adding to the motif, to the shape. So
Brian or you or
Well,
whoever,
You could.
that was-
oh, hi Barb. Barb is here.
that matters,
Hey.
that if he's doing this to the federal government,
And Robin. Hi, Robin.
trust it,
Oh, I
how
took
could-
pictures already, Barb.
how could-
Yeah.
How could a customer trust?
I feel like I need to do another twist pattern because I did the knit two together, the sort of cheat one, and I didn't want to go back and do it a different way since I'd already started that. But then my next project where I have a twisted stitch, I want to do the other way of
Try a different one.
the right
Oh, yeah,
twist.
haircut.
Yeah, finally.
I like this way with the, you just, start with the
Oh,
double
but I
and then knit the
can't-
first.
Yeah. I like it too, but I thought it'd be fun to learn the other one.
Sure.
Mike yesterday was interviewing.
There's Barb.
Hi,
Hey,
Barb.
Barb. My own personal gremlin.
Oh my goodness, y'all are so funny on the Instagram thing. I started to comment, but my thing wasn't working right. I started to comment and say, y'all are having too much fun.
Yeah, we gotta have fun, right?
It's great. It's great. It's really
Kaya gets a really big kick out of us. I'm just like,
I
every time
guess.
I feel like kind of a jerk, but if it makes her happy, whatever.
There you go.
David's got to figure out how to get all that in the car.
I know.
We got a lot of mail going out.
My
And
friend and I,
fast.
So
Well, Barn Box is going out at the same time as the end of the sale.
Oh,
Right, I
So,
got a shipping notice.
yeah, so everything from the,
So we're kind of busy.
yeah.
Well, and I have to say, when I ordered the sale yarn,
time is
I
it?
think I got my shipping notice on that within an hour of placing the order.
Wow.
So that was just, that was the fastest shipping anybody's ever done. That was awesome.
It might be automated, just saying.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that a person touched it yet necessarily. I don't know. Do you know?
No, yeah, David prints out the labels and at that time you get your shipping notice. But then it comes over here and Lillian puts it all together. Usually the
That's
next,
for bar mobs.
even for
For
anything that's for labels. Oh, for regular orders?
yeah, Lillian does the
Lillian
regular
pulls
orders.
the order
yeah.
and puts it together.
But this week we had we had several people working together. So
Did you get a phone call from your former manager?
wow, that is a lot of stuff.
I
We're just
Might
David
need
is
my car.
it was all lined up in the hallway and it looked like a lot, but David's putting it in the car right now. And it's like, oh my gosh. There's at least one carload, if not two.
Oh my.
Where are the dogs? He's got the door open. Sorry.
You got Riley over
I'd
there.
let
like,
her, well, I'm wondering if you should let her call you.
Huh.
Is she on vacation? No.
I'm hearing a second conversation going.
Some guy.
Oh. Can you hear all right, my husband's on the phone. Can you hear
Yeah.
that?
Yes.
Just a little.
Oh,
Quite
Better
clearly.
not be telling
It's
secrets.
okay though.
Okay.
you sure? Because I can I'll mute myself until.
It's a big ass chair. It's not.
We're okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. My husband was taking off for a camping trip. And so he was kind of in and out and saying goodbye and getting the food together and saying that we'd bananas that I said, you can take the bananas. I can get more tomorrow when I'm out. And so he comes in from the van and he's yelling, it's too hot in the van for the bananas, so they can't go. Good. I'm sure the girls will be really happy to hear that. So now I'm going to make banana bread because they're going to be.
Carla, are you in California?
I'm in Reno, Nevada.
Oh, Reno. Okay. Is
Yep.
it burning there? Do you have smoke yet?
We do not yet, knock on wood. There's a fire up north of us in California by Portola,
Yeah.
which is 100 or so miles away. And it's blowing down into another part of Reno, but the wind is being kind to us out here. We're on the very western edge of Reno.
Okay.
And so it's clear as a bell here today at my house.
I must have
But
driven by your exit a million times when I lived in Nevada City.
oh yes, yep. Do you know where Boomtown is?
Oh, yeah, we always
Okay.
stop there. Yeah.
That's what I look out on from my house is those mountains and the Boomtown Casino.
Okay.
You.
So yeah, you know our exit. Come on, next time you drive by there, come visit.
I don't live in Nevada City anymore.
I know, but maybe you'll come visit anyway. And I see you have the new bee bag behind you.
I figured I could show it off now. Now that
Oh, and that
Oh,
Oh,
is.
that's adorable.
it's perfect for the bee project. And it even came with the little,
Oh,
see if you could see that. I don't know how to show that off properly, but it's terribly cute. My camera here. Here we go.
oh, it's sweet.
Phone again.
I missed the bee bag because I didn't order bare naked wools to do my project.
So Audrey, yeah, we're hot here and just kind of, I don't know, during the whole summer, we just kind of sit on needles and pins, hoping that people behave themselves and don't throw cigarettes out their cars and don't light off fireworks and all of that kind of stuff. So far, this part of the year is good, but a lot, as we get more towards August and September, we generally are pretty smoky.
Yeah.
Do you ever give Bentley melatonin?
Hmm?
Do you ever give Bentley melatonin?
No.
I always forget that I have it, but today I gave it to Cardigan because she was upset with thunder. So
You know, it's funny today, we had a little bit because we didn't have hardly any rain, but it didn't bother Bentley. He was playing and
interesting.
yeah, I thought that was kind of funny too. My first cardigan, is it in your way? No.
She'll just lay her head on it.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, Holly.
Hello. How's everyone doing?
Good.
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 Yeah,
Good.
I'm pretty well. I'm there too. I really would love to have the next session. So just to refresh my memory. We didn't get one this week because this is a bye week to catch up. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So how many more weeks do we have that we're going to get patterns?
Just
Or-
one. There's one more clue. It is a repeating clue this time, but the rows are much, much shorter than in the beginning. So I'm very confident that everybody can
Finish it
finish.
up.
And then there's another Zoom week for everybody to show off their finished one or whatever.
So we only have another 32 weeks in total, correct?
2 weeks.
Oh, we have 2 more. So we have
32
another
rows.
We have another 64 rows then.
No. As I said, the next clue is a repeating clue. So it is 32 rows, just like all the others, but it's going to repeat and repeat. You know, you'll be repeating it a certain number of times, depending on your size that you knit.
Okay.
So, but the rows are much, much shorter. So it, you know, you won't be knitting probably much more than at the start of the shawl. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mhm.
You know, maybe a little bit more, but not a lot.
Okay. Okay.
So, you know, just be prepared. It's not like you have a ton to do.
And we'll
What's that?
get that next Tuesday.
Oh, a needle point. Yes.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, all the clues come on Tuesday every week, every time there is one.
Okay. Thank you.
You got far on that.
know.
Barb knit another sweater this week.
What?
in Hempshaw. It's not one of my patterns.
It's not one of Ann's.
It's a striped t-shirt. It's really cute.
Oh, it's adorable.
In the hemp fingering yarn.
Yeah.
The
And you
brown-
did that in a week?
No, couple weeks.
No, less than a week.
Yeah, that
When did you start it?
last week.
Yeah, I know. Because she was like, I'm gonna knit this.
Yeah, I want to wear it this summer because it's so cool. This hemp shawl is when you wear it. I mean, when it's real hot out, you
Mhm.
don't get real.
It
hot
doesn't
in
stick to your
It's-
skin at all.
Yeah,
It's like t-shirt fabric when it's
Wow.
washed. Thing.
And
I
it's
keep
called-
trying to find somebody else so we can get it from because I really like it for
And it's
summer.
hemp?
It's hemp and silk and a little bit of merino,
Mhm.
like 20% merino, but you just don't notice it at all. That
We
part.
still have the millet left, the off-white color.
Yeah.
So
Do
And when
you think
that's
we
gone,
could
then the
do
hempshaw's gone.
Well, for now, we can't find another mill to make it yet. We need to find somebody to do it.
have trouble finding the hemp.
The
Do you
hemp is
think hemp-
there. It's
hemp
finding
shawl would-
what?
Do you think hemp shawl would be good for a Costa Figuera?
Yeah, it was actually originally designed with that yarn. So yes,
Oh,
but the
wow.
lace weight. Yeah.
Okay.
But then somebody knit that with the sport weight of modern deco, which is the same as the sport weight or the fingering weight of Hempshaw.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have to swatch it. Some of these yarns you can get the same gauge with both with different weights. but one is just denser than the other, you know, it's not like it takes away from the design or anything like that.
Didn't I knit that one in Jenny too?
That one, Elasties,
Yeah, I know. I think I knitted it.
not that one.
Mhm.
You knitted in Stone Soup, you knit that.
No,
vest.
Stone Soup. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. Because I knit like 3 of them, but I can't
I can't remember.
remember what I did them in.
But Anne remembers.
Anne always remembers. Yeah, so I don't need to. Yeah, I did do it in Stone Soup.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you modeled it.
Yeah. So is Amanda on tonight? I don't see her, but
She might get on later. You know,
Oh,
the early hour isn't usually super full.
I know I was working outside and I thought, oh, I think we changed. Yeah, we changed. It
Just
starts
for
at
the
5. Yeah.
just for the mystery knit along.
Right.
When we go back to when we start the Rhinebeck knit along, we'll be back on
back,
our
yeah.
usual schedule of 6 to 8.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Because we will also be doing Saturdays again.
Yeah.
Well, I have to go, guys. I know I'm just here a short period. I wanted to say hi.
I'm glad you
Okay.
came.
Take
Hi,
care.
nice to see
Because
you.
I'm waiting for the next portion. So
Eagerly, I can tell.
have a good night.
Good
You
night.
too.
Thanks for coming, Holly.
It got me out of making supper though. I told Tom, I'm out of here.
I guess you're having cereal for dinner.
Yeah. You can have cereal while I'm there.
Every man for himself.
Right.
Time to order pizza.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do takeout on Wednesday.
That's a good idea. Hi, Ron.
It is a good idea. Yeah.
David makes sandwiches on Wednesday, tuna sandwich night.
You
I
know,
think I
Robin,
know-
I really
I
wanted
know
to.
that now because it's every Wednesday night. It's tuna sandwich night.
Exactly. It's like my favorite meal of the week, which is so, you know, weird. But
Well, because you didn't make it.
exactly. But the other night we had our first meal that was almost entirely from the garden. We had a stir fry with summer squash and green beans and mushrooms, which weren't from the garden. And greens. I picked like all kinds of baby greens and put that in there. Oh my God, it was so good.
Oh, that sounds good.
Sounds
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah, you sizzle those green beans in a pan and then throw the squash in and put some kind of spicy stir fry sauce on it. So good. It's so
So when
quick.
David makes the tuna sandwiches, does he make the same recipe every week? Or does he
Yes.
vary?
No, it's the same. The classic, you know, tuna with celery and mayonnaise, and
Love
Uh,
that.
he does add a little wasabi in there, which we like. So.
Get more bags yet?
Yeah, there's still more bags.
There's still more bags.
That might be the last. Look at
That's
it.
pretty
It's
big one.
huge. I know. Why carry a small bag when you can get a big one?
How do you get those all in that little car?
It's not that small.
Yeah.
And the seats fold down there.
Okay.
And it's mail. You can squish it. It's yarn. There's nothing.
I thought Lillian would still be here when I got back.
she is.
Is she still here?
Yeah, go look. She was there a
Aw.
minute ago when I looked. Jenna and Jean just left, like just before you got
Yeah,
here.
I knew they were gonna be here late. They said, go ahead and leave, Barb. I said, I am. See you later.
Out of here.
I'm not the shipper. See ya.
We have to put a Stone Soup order together now. Have you been working on it? Didn't you say?
Oh, I got it ready. I was
Oh.
just waiting. You said after the sale. so
Yeah.
I got it ready.
Just in
I didn't want to
case.
spend your money until.
Was I
we
not
were
right?
ready. Yeah, you were
Was I
right.
right?
You were right. but I have to see what else we're low on. So I wanted to, Diane's gonna send me an inventory tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, we have to be ready for Rhinebeck.
Yep.
The actual Rhinebeck.
When is Rhinebeck?
It's in October, but our yarns take 3 to 4 month turnaround time with the mill. So, I mean, some of them take like 8 weeks, but that's about the fastest.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this time of year, it's either really fast or really slow because some mills are still working on their spring clips from the farms and stuff. So we're in a queue with other people, and it just depends. Sometimes we put an order in and they're like, oh, great, we have a spot right now. We'll just do it.
Nice.
I have a question for everyone. Who's been to Rhinebeck? Because I've never been, even though I'm relatively close.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
What do you, is it worth it?
Oh, is it worth it?
Yeah. You can't see it all in one day.
That's what I heard. And
It's not
It's a-
just that there's a lot of yarn, it's the whole atmosphere. It's
Yeah.
the quintessential wool show fall festival style. You know, it couldn't be a prettier environment, or even the fairgrounds is very, very pretty. They
Right.
have
Yeah.
all these maple trees in flame at that time. And you know, it's a parade of hand knits that you don't get to see at the summer shows. And
A set of other artists
food,
too.
it's very foodie there.
Yeah.
And it's also a big area for artists that live there. So there's a lot of a lot of pottery and weaving
Yeah.
and
rugs and
yeah, all kinds of stuff.
yeah, I know people who went at one year and it was really super hot. And
Once in a while that happens.
yeah, well, what I've been told is that it's so crowded on Saturday that that's a day to go look, but then you buy on Sunday.
Oh,
So you
No.
can't-
or you buy Saturday and Sunday.
oh, well, yeah.
or
I
you just
know.
enjoy the crowd. You know, I mean, if you don't mind crowds, it's really
Mhm.
not
Yeah,
you know, for some people that's a
right.
problem.
That's
But if not, I mean, our booth is packed the whole weekend, to the point where there are times when I can't see the 3 feet beyond, you know, to see out of the booth for most of the day. Which I find kind of fun, but not everybody would.
I will say, I probably enjoy the most is meeting people that I know, you know,
Yeah.
just like
oh
you guys,
yeah.
you see on Zoom or you talk to them, but then you go there and you actually meet them, you know. And like Robin, that's where I met Robin at.
And that
Uh-huh.
includes because the whole town is taken over by knitters in Rhinebeck. You know, you'll see people in your hotel and knitting. You know, you can join knitting groups outside the you know, there's a lot of socializing around the show that that takes place. And
Right.
it is, you do meet people that you end up making friends with from a distance, and it is really fun.
A lot of good eating places and
Tons of good food
Right.
around there. Yep.
a really good shoe store too.
Yeah. Ask Barb how she knows.
Yeah.
and then it's so historical in that area. It's full of folklore and actual history and historical sites to visit, so you can make a whole week out of it.
Sounds like it would be a good idea to drive there if possible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's so
So
pretty.
you can bring home all of your stash.
It's
Yeah,
not that far from here.
Where are you, Betsy?
I'm in Rhode Island.
oh yeah, that's
Okay.
not
I'm just a
far.
little bit further
That's-
south than Robin.
That'd be doable.
Oh yeah.
One
Lots of
thing
people-
that I found was not knowing the yardage for my projects was a stumbling point.
Yeah.
So think of your projects, think of the weight of yarn you need,
Right.
or know the ballpark of your size for a sweater or hat or socks or whatever you like.
Right.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good thing to go to a show like that with a plan, you know, with some kind of plan. Obviously you're going to get pulled into some things that you didn't expect to find, but I think a lot of people do go there with a list of projects that they might want to make and what the yardages are.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm a sucker for a kit. And sometimes I just see something like sample, and I go, I want that.
Yeah,
and then I buy it and I realize
we pretty much take that to the bank, you know.
yeah.
We're very strategic about what we put on the mannequins and what kind of kits and stuff we bring.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'm your girl.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even bring very many small items at all because they just get lost in the undertow. Just
Right.
a few things for us to wear, a few hats and fingerless mitts that we can wear, and then a few shawls, but it's a sweater show by and large. Either that or you have to have your whole booth devoted to like socks or something, you know.
And there's quite a few of those booths around.
Exactly.
Yeah. The other thing, Betsy, is that lodging is pretty much sold out. So you'd have to, at this point, maybe be looking at a nearby town.
Well, that's what that's what I was thinking. And so.
Also, I've talked to a number of people who did cancel recently. So, you know, they wanted to go, but then decided this wasn't the right year and they canceled recently. So you can luck out and find something.
Yeah. So I do have a couple
canceled
friends.
not very long ago, about a month ago.
Yeah, I remember you said that.
Robin, have you already made plans to go this year?
Sadly, I'm not going,
Oh,
but that's okay. I used my Rhinebeck budget well recently.
Yes, you did.
How many sweater quantities did you buy this weekend?
I don't want to fess up to it.
oh, come on.
Not if
Oh,
Al's
you're
around.
amongst friends. Come on.
We won't
A
tell
lot.
a lot.
Good night, Lillian.
Sleep well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, can I tell you something quick? I'll leave you a note for it too.
Sorry, you guys.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were going to Rhinebeck and then we were going to come home and then we were going to go to Florida to see our daughter and my grandkids. And then JetBlue canceled the flights that we had and they needed to be changed. And so that blew my plan to go to Rhinebeck.
Well, I'll tell you what, if we go, I'll text you from it every day. I'll send
Yes,
you pictures.
I'm gonna have people like sending me little clips and I'll be sending them back little faces with sad little tears.
Oh,
But that's all right, because like I said, I used my money wisely.
So next year you'll have a sweater for every hour that you're at Rhinebeck.
I know, can you imagine?
Forget about one a day. You'll have one. for
Yeah, I
every
had
hour.
made 3 and I was so excited because I was gonna wear, 3 new sweaters. But, and I definitely won't be wearing them in Florida in October. I don't think
No.
so.
Probably not.
At
And it's
least
funny because
this way you might get some actual knitting done on Rhinebeck weekend because you'll be flying and stuff. So
yes, yeah. Yep.
Is your daughter in the way of the hurricane?
No, she lives in the Orlando area, so she's smack in the middle. So she's probably doesn't have great weather today, but she's not on the coast where it's really pummeling.
Good.
Yeah.
the rain and mugginess.
Yeah. And it's funny because they're coming home in 2 weeks, I didn't know they were surprising me for my birthday. And I said to Al, well, if I had known that in advance, we could have still gone to Rhinebeck.
Yeah.
Does he go with you to Rhinebeck?
Oh yeah, he's the best thing about Rhinebeck. He carries all the wool. He holds things for other women. They just love him.
My husband would be like that too.
Yep. He's a great asset. Long as
And-
we go and watch the sheepdog trials and
Mhm.
go and see all the livestock, and they'll be shearing and there's auctions. He won't let me bring anything live home, but we do get to go to the auction. So
I was gonna
there's so
say,
many things.
next thing you know, he'll have a sheep. Yeah.
No, he won't let me. Mm-mm. No,
You won't let
no
me.
more pets.
They make really good lawnmowers.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
tried to convince him of that. I said, look at, we can
No.
take care of all the neighbors' lawns and everything. No, didn't work.
Nice try.
I know,
Yeah.
because they have little bunnies.
And they're too cute.
Yeah, they have a lot. There's a lot to look at Rhinebeck.
And I probably buy more if my husband is along than I do if he's not. Because if I pick up something and admire something, he's very likely to say, oh, let me get that for you.
Yeah, my husband's that way too.
Yeah,
Go ahead, get it.
that's what
Yeah.
he says.
You've been working hard. Go ahead and get it.
Yeah.
We are
And it's
lucky,
with
aren't
two
we?
dogs.
Lucky.
That's how David's an enabler too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I always say, well, are you buying it? Yeah, I'll buy it. Okay. I'll get it.
Yeah, and then he'll say, well, what are you making with a sweater? Well, do you have the buttons? No, not yet. Well, it's not going to do you any good if you don't have the buttons. You better get the buttons too. So he wants to buy the whole package, which is great.
Sounds like an engineer, project manager.
More
Oh, your
of an
tools
artist
lined up.
type. I think he's got more of an artist brain, although he's a really good salesman.
Julie, what's that you're working on?
This is bondage in the
Oh, yes.
tardy worsted.
Yes.
Oh, you got
yes.
it done.
Right.
Yeah, let me get to the end of the row and I'll hold it up. I'm on the back and I
Okay.
can't really hold it up.
Are you making the short one?
No, the long
The
one.
longer one? Okay.
Yep.
The
Oh,
coat
that'll look
size.
nice.
Yeah.
She's kind of tall.
I really like that. Turned out nice.
Yeah, I saw
You
yours
really
on
did. wickedness.
Is that what you bought Target for, Robin?
No, Barb, I want to make a pedal pusher like you have. You have a pedal
That's a good
pusher.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
idea.
what it's for.
And the antler buttons look really good on that yarn too.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I actually have some from when we went on a cruise to Alaska, but I don't think I have enough.
We did. We bought some in Alaska.
That's when we
too.
bought it, when we went on a
Yes.
cruise to Alaska.
Yeah, I have two different styles, but I think that on the card, there's only 6
Oh.
of each one of the ones that we have from
Oh.
Alaska, but I'll have to double check.
You might be able to make that work, you know. It doesn't have to button all the way to the top if you're not going to wear it that way. You could just put the buttons up to the chest.
Mm-hmm. I gotta go on the floor and measure my sleeve.
Yes.
I forgot about buttons for this. I just ordered a bag and I should have thought to order the buttons for this at the same time.
Well, if
One
you,
more inch.
when did you order your bag? Later today?
Yeah, just like right before I signed in to
If it
this.
hasn't gone out yet, you know, and you want to order your buttons, we can combine it.
Okay, so you can recommend something from this, it's the Apolado color. So, I
And you
don't,
both want one of the bigger buttons.
Yeah.
Let's see, the button boxes are right there. I mean, the antler buttons are really nice. We have the they're like an inch. Oh, and then we also have, so we have the antler buttons, which are, you know, these shapes like
Oh.
this. And they're pretty consistent in the colors. The edges are that dark brown of,
oh, that
you
would
know,
look good with the darker.
with the
yarn.
Apolado. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
oh, here's the yarn and here's the button.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so it has
Nice.
some contrast, but not too light. And then there is the ones I used on the home office, which are they're like a darker color. They have I'm sorry, my fingers are in the way. They have like a spot in the middle. They're called
You put it by the white.
Florence. And they have a streak. No, see what's
Yeah.
the problem is this is
Yeah.
I think I like the lighter ones better anyway, so you don't
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
jump through a
never
lot of
mind,
hoops
right.
for that.
and then there's a black button that's got lines in it, but I think those disappear. I think the white ones are
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
And then
Huh?
this
Those
is
are-
also kind of cool. This is the yellow bone.
Ooh,
Those are kind of
I have
nice.
some of those. They're nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They're-
I think I like the first ones you showed though.
yeah. And well, we have them, so. Oh, and then there's these, but these blend too much.
Those blend too much.
These are also lighter. These are called Danette, and they're like a 1 inch. They're a 1 inch button with a scratchy white bone surface on them, so they have kind of a texture. But I think the light ones.
I like the antler buttons the best.
The antler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't
So
keep
what do I look for on the website? Are they just called antler buttons or do they have a name?
they're called.
They are.
Those ones are called buck.
Buck.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's buck and doe. And
Buck
the-
and doe. The little ones are doe. The buck's the larger ones that you'll need.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
And
I
then
will,
pick them out so they all go together. They match because they're all a little bit different.
okay. So I can just place the order and in the notes, say, remind
Yeah,
you
put
that
in the
it's-
note. Yeah. If Lillian hasn't shipped your bag yet,
Almost the
and we'll
end of the
and if
row.
that's the case, we'll refund your shipping
shipping, yeah.
on your buttons.
Okay.
So you don't have to pay.
Okay. I have like 4 more stitches, then I can hold this up.
Robin, what sweater are you making right now?
Oh, I'm working on my nest. nest. I'm
Oh,
building
that's
my
right.
nest. It's getting longer and longer. This sleeve. I
Lovely.
have 1 inch before I start shaping the underarm.
Nice.
It looks wonderful.
Looks
It's
great.
really so beautiful. I really
Oh,
abandoned
pretty.
it so that I wouldn't lose speed and I would keep up with the knit along. So this is my week that I get back to working on this.
That's really pretty.
That's
That
really
knits up
pretty.
so fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, even, I mean, this
Love
is
it.
the long one and
Yeah.
cruising right
Oh,
along.
look at that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
cables are
Wow.
nice.
Cables are so easy, you know, and I think because
Yeah.
they're larger, it just knits up really quick.
Yeah, the only time I get slowed down is when I get too hot and my hands get too sweaty and
Yeah. Right.
I have to go rinse them off.
Julie, what sweater is that?
Vendange. And that's in the Targhee Tango worsted in the darkest color.
Love it.
Pretty.
Thanks. Yeah.
Robin, what yarn are you using for your nest?
It's called Bear in the Fin Dandy 3-ply.
I love
Ah,
that yarn.
It's
nice.
beautiful. It's really lovely. Although my swatch of the Targhee Sport is, I keep playing with that too because it's so nice and soft.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was amazing how that bloomed.
Isn't it? All right.
Got that fin and the brown and the bear, but I don't know what I was making with it. What was I making with that?
I don't know.
I backed up.
I don't know.
Oh, Cardigan, did that wake you up? My phone rang. Oh,
I thought that was coming from Zoom. Oh, what
sorry,
happened?
Cardigan.
Here, come on up in Barb's chair. No, she's gonna go in her little corner.
Yeah.
There's a couple really small corners in the shop and she likes to go and hang out in those.
That was a robocall. She like digs first.
She does it, yeah, she does do that.
You gonna hide back there, huh? I turned my phone off.
She's sleepy. You can go around this way, Cardigan. Come here. She has to go through the smallest possible place. Hey, what is it, sleepyhead? Yeah, come this way. Come over this way. Oh, she won't come this way because Riley's here.
Right.
Did they get along well?
They do, but Riley has
Riley's a bully.
momentary episodes of aggression around possessiveness of whatever she's near. So if she's near David and Cardigan crosses anywhere in the vicinity, she just goes roaring after her. Or if it's me, or even like if I'm sitting on the sofa and she's next to me and David comes over, she'll even leap up and snarl at him.
I
And
brought
she
my
loves him.
golden retriever over one night, Bentley. He's 100 pounds, right? Riley went after him and he was scared to death.
He stayed right next to Barb the whole time he was here, and she sat on the sofa going every so often. She picks fights with the biggest, baddest
Right.
looking dogs. She's something else. Just before we came here, one of our neighbors was walking through with his dog, and his dog is like a, I don't know, like a Beagle Chihuahua mix or something like that. About that size of a small Beagle. And she just went right up to Ellie, and Ellie doesn't like other dogs and will, you know, bite back. She let her know, don't you come near me. And Riley's harmless because she doesn't have any teeth, so I don't worry about her. What I worry about is that her attitude is going to get her killed someday or severely beaten. There's going to be a doggy smackdown at some point.
Yeah, those little ones are so confident, and sometimes they, especially if they've been able to intimidate big dogs, they don't realize that not all big dogs are gonna back off.
Well, and the funny thing is, Cardigan is really sweet and super submissive, and she's the one that gets picked on all the time by other dogs. She, you know, will be minding her own business completely, and some dog will come flying over and like and bite her in the neck. You know, it's just vicious. And she doesn't fight back. She rolls on her back, shows him her belly.
Oh, that's funny. Gracie does that too. When they're playing, when she's had enough, she rolls over on her belly, and then belly doesn't bother her. Like, okay, I'm done.
Well, if a dog is mad at her,
Or rolls on her back.
that's not the message they're getting.
Yeah,
They're getting
right.
the message of, oh, here's a tender belly I can bite.
Yeah, I'm being submissive now.
I'm giving up white flag.
I just ordered the buttons, so that should be.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't have a shipping notice yet, so it shouldn't be, it should still be there. On the bag.
Yeah, well, Lillian left, so yeah, you won't get one.
Yeah.
Although I probably should let David know too. But sometimes he.
Well, if Julie put a note in her,
Hmm?
if Julie put a note in her order, then that David reads all that
Yeah.
stuff. He's very.
Did you put a note on your order, Julie?
I put a note on the second order, but if they like pull the first one before they read the second one, they won't see it. And I think I put.
Lillian gets all the orders out of the computer first, and before she starts like
Pulling
processing
anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we do have, there's almost always something that's special or needs help. And also because we now have really 2 shipping people.
Yeah, Jenna.
So
too.
Lillian does all the orders, but Jenna and Jean pull the yarns, and is that right? Am I saying it right?
Yeah. Jenna will sometimes help with shipping, but.
Yeah, I put a note in, but I think I put the wrong order number because I copied some other number from the email about the order, but hopefully they'll see the name.
Find it. Yeah, she'll figure it
out.
I'll leave a note on her desk too tonight just to make sure.
Thank you.
Because Lillian doesn't come in. I won't think she'll be in tomorrow, but Jenna, I think, comes in.
Yeah, I didn't expect I'd need buttons that quickly on it, but it's flying by.
Yeah, it goes quick.
Well, it's really nice when you can actually see them up against the yarn.
Yeah.
That helps a lot.
Yep.
Did we sell all the bee toads today?
What?
Did we sell all the bee toads?
Yes, we
today?
did.
We did? We sold all the bee toads?
The 50, yeah.
No, I meant the 500 that we had.
Oh, no. No.
We were getting a lot of orders for them.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, I knew we went through
Yeah.
the first 50 were in the first like hour.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing like a bribe to get people excited.
Yeah.
I gotta
Little
say, it's a
bribe.
really adorable little
The
marker,
golden
too.
queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Queen bee.
So what are you working on, Anne? It looks like it's different than when you first, at the beginning of today.
Yeah. So I've been working on the Yarn Discovery Tour shawl, and I got to a point where I don't have a chart ready to continue. So that's where that is
cool.
up till now. Yeah.
Wow.
So this is a custom dyed yarn that we're getting for the Yarn Discovery Tour in September. And I paired it with the Modern Deco Sport for this mosaic project. And the next step are these enormous flowers along the hem, like the size of, see how there's like 4 of
Like on a
those
quilt.
flowers?
Yeah.
So the ones along the hem will be that size of all 4 flowers
Oh,
together.
wow.
Wow.
Pretty much, more or less. So I made the chart. I had a chart ready to go, and then I decided, oh, you know what, I could do something else with it. Like I want to change it now. So when I go home tonight, I'll start that. And then and also I brought a 32-inch needle to change it to, only the needle's the wrong size. So
I know where you can buy one.
I know I have it at home though. I know I take I know I could just take one, but I have it at home. So
Now you're doing it.
last year when we got the Shetlandia yarn, I started this sweater. It's a raglan knit from the bottom up in this cable stitch pattern, which, let me put some paper behind it. You can't see very well here. Let's see. So it's like a
Ooh,
like a
Wow,
yeah, I know.
pretty.
I'm obsessed with this stitch pattern. I love it.
Oh, man.
It's like super classic. So I started it last year and I really haven't worked on it very much. I went through a little period when I just didn't have the patience for it. So when I was coming over, I was like, oh, let me look at my UFOs and see what I've got. And then I grabbed this and this is perfect. So I'll make as much progress as I can while I
Good. I
can.
have some Shetlandia waiting for a project.
Uh-huh.
Ladies, you may have noticed it got really dark in my background. That's because we have a thunderstorm coming.
Oh,
Goodness.
And so is dinner. So,
Oh,
so I'm going to say goodbye because I want to eat.
all
I
right.
really
Bye,
like
Betsy.
talking to
Betsy.
you guys.
Bye.
I'll see you next
Bye.
week.
Bye, Betsy.
Okay.
Next
Bye.
week. Take care.
Thank you.
That means it'll be coming towards me.
It came from here. It was here earlier, but it didn't really
It
rain.
didn't really rain. It had some thunder, but that was
Just
it.
thundered. Yeah.
We need the rain. I mean,
Well, and
my leaves on my trees are just falling off.
and tonight they have a severe storm watch out.
Well, they had one this morning, but it just kind of
yeah, just
disappeared.
dissipated. Yeah.
I wish I could huff and puff and blow some your way, especially out
Yeah.
in Nevada and Northern California.
Mm.
We take it.
I know.
Yeah.
Where are you, Kika?
I'm in the Woodlands, Texas, just north of Houston,
Oh, right. Okay.
Hmm.
way down south.
So is that north of I-10?
It is.
Okay.
Thank goodness.
I have
When those
family.
hurricanes come, you don't want to be by I-10.
No, I have family in Houston, so we used to
Yeah.
go pretty regularly for a book fair and visit them down in
Oh,
Richardson, I think it was.
yeah, that's pretty far south, I think.
Yeah, but the book fair was at a small museum in downtown Houston, so between I-45 and I-10, that was, I know those roads.
Yeah. What museum was it at?
It's the Museum of Printing History.
Oh, yeah, I've been there, not often, but I've been there.
Yeah, they had a fire and the real damage was caused, of course, by the sprinkler system. And
Oh,
they've
yeah.
had a book fair there since. It's been about 5 years, I think.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, it's a nice little building and they have some great stuff if you're interested in printing history.
I used to know the woman, and I can't even think of her name now, who was, I think she might have been the director there, or
There was a lady named Amanda there for a while, a relatively young woman, and then the I want to say the owner, which isn't quite right, but
maybe the founder or something.
founder or something. There was a woman there who was keeping track of all of that too. Her husband was a bookseller for years, which is why they had book fairs there. But I can't think of her name.
I can't think of the woman's name. I was involved at the Houston Center for Contemporary Craft for a while, and I'm also a weaver and spinner. So
Hey,
every now and then some of that stuff overlaps.
yeah.
And do you have a bookstore in Grass Valley?
No, we used to be in the co-op downtown at Booktown in downtown Grass Valley, but it's not really a practical venue for our kind of stuff. So it's online and at book fairs.
Ah,
And
nice.
behind me,
And behind you.
as
And
you can
behind-
see, we're still digging through many boxes of books from the last buy.
It looks wonderful.
It's a lot of fun, but it's a lot to process.
Yeah.
So it's, you said picture books, and is there something else that's part of your specialty?
Children's books in general, illustrated books from about 1890s on up.
Wow.
There's a whole genre of fine illustrated books that people are really crazy for. Arthur Rackham and Edmund Dulac, and a school of illustrators that we can always sell when we can find nice copies. So, but pretty much everything's out of print.
Oh, okay.
So we're dealing with individual items one at a time, not, oh, look, we have 10 copies of this. I only have to
Right,
use it
right.
once.
Very specialized.
Yeah, it's fun, but there's a lot of typing.
At least now you get to do it on the computer where you can correct it more easily and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think I could have done this kind of work without a good database.
I can't imagine. How do people find you?
Oh, we list on a couple of the major book sites. There's a site called ABE and one called Biblio. I used to sell on Amazon, but it's not worth the hassle. And then we do book fairs. We're members of the Antiquarian Booksellers Association, so they have a website. So the people looking for the expensive books know to go there.
Yeah, I've gone to Abe.
Oh yeah.
And I think I've been to Biblio too. Online, I mean.
Yeah. Abe is owned by Amazon, so I have a office for Biblio. Yeah, they bought them years ago.
I bought some things from Abe a long time ago. Might have been before they were part of Amazon.
Yeah, that hasn't been.
But I've shopped with Abe very successfully.
Yeah, they run a good website. It's pretty easy to maneuver, and you can find things easily.
I like books about antique needlework.
Yeah, those are tough to find because people who have them, you have to wait for them to die pretty much.
Yeah. I was gonna say I used when the internet was new, I bought and bought and bought from places like that because needlework books were so cheap and practically giving them away. And also any used bookstore in New York, the Bryn Mawr bookstore used to put them out back in bags, like to throw them away and let me take them for free. And then all of a sudden when knitting blew up around 2005, it just became almost impossible to get anything reasonably priced anymore.
Yeah, especially in the big cities.
I mean, even online, it just got out of control. Like some of the old Alice Starmore books are hundreds and hundreds of dollars now, you know. It's just crazy.
People make up numbers because if they can't see one online, they think it's worth a lot.
Yeah.
And, you know, in some ways it is, but just because it's listed for hundreds of dollars doesn't mean they're selling it.
There's this rare book I've been wanting for quite a long time, and it was out of reach for me when it was like $250. But now there's people that want like $1,200 for it. You know, it just
blows your mind.
Within a 2-year period, it has at least quadrupled from that original $250.
Sounds like 4 people bought it and doubled the price each time.
Yeah. There's only ever like a couple copies at a time listed, and it's just crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You just have to hope somebody decides to reprint it.
And you know, that's the thing, like I've gotten books when they were in their first edition and already really inexpensive. And then that went out of print. Like The Principles of Knitting is this great big thick book, and then for years, and then for years I got a hardcover copy for like $6 when it was, you know, remember Hamilton Books? I used to get a lot of stuff from there too.
Hamilton? Yeah, he's still available. He's still around.
Yeah, Hamilton Books. I used to get a lot of knitting books there.
Yeah.
On their remainder, you know, in their remainder catalog back when you actually got a
book, Principles of Knitting.
Yeah. Anyway, it was out of print for a long time, and it got to be like $600 a copy or something. And then they did bring it back out in paperback, but only in paperback. So
yeah,
the hard copy is still worth something, but I'm not gonna be able to cash it in when I retire anymore. It kind of ruins it if you do have something valuable.
Is that the one where she came out with a revised edition?
Yeah.
I saw an interview with her. It was interesting. She was, man, the kind of tedious work that she put into it was pretty impressive.
Yeah. you can tell by looking at it that there's a lot of tedious work that went into it. And it's a really great reference book.
I think I have the original, and then I was trying to figure out if I wanted the revised edition or not.
I can't remember if I bought the revised edition or not.
Mine's a hard copy, but I don't know what.
You might have gotten it long ago when I would bring those books to class back when we first met.
I know, it was when we first met. in the
Oh, well,
very
then
beginning.
that's the original.
Original one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might have even gotten it still like at like Hamilton Books or something.
Yeah.
Through.
Because I got also a couple other books for just patterns, that are just.
I was on a weaving webinar or Zoom thing, and they were talking about this classic weaving book, and they said it's listed for $400 online. And man, I went real quick to my bookshelf to make sure I still had my copy. Because for a while I couldn't find it, and I don't remember where I found it, but now I have it. So it's like, oh man, I don't want to lose that because it's a classic.
Yeah, that's why like when
and a good reference book too.
When those interesting and unusual books come out, like a certain type of ethnic knitting or a certain like specialty book about wool, I get it right away now at the, when it's first published. Yeah, because they only print those things once.
Yeah.
I mean, I have some really obscure stuff. Don't I?
Yeah.
I have and I have all these books in other languages that I can't read. Like I literally have to use a dictionary to read it, but there's some really good stuff there. I just don't have, and you plug your ears, my library is not in any way organized. I used to have it all organized by like topic and country of origin, all this stuff. And when David redid my office, and we had to disassemble that room really quickly because the wiring was found to be so bad. Everything just got piled in boxes, and then when it got put back, he unpacked it. You won't believe it. Like, it is so out of order. Like nothing relates. Only when I like if I have to read about a certain topic and I go through all the books and pull everything, that's my chance to get it all back, that topic all back together,
So would it drive you nuts? Have you seen the organizing show called, I think it's on Netflix, it's The Home Edit? And they love to organize by color. They like to organize books by color.
Yeah, that wouldn't work for me.
I'm sure it looks really pretty, but can you imagine?
Not organizing.
Yeah,
Although
I know people that do that, but I just can't imagine the mayhem in my mind, to try to work with it.
The only way I could see it work is like this weaving book I was thinking of is green. So I could go through and look for the green book, but it makes no sense to me.
But then when you're convinced that your book is pink and you're looking for the pink book and actually it's brown or something, that's you get into trouble.
It's hard enough. It's hard enough when all the ones that are this topic are this big, and then there's one that's this big and it doesn't fit on that shelf.
I know. I did solve that problem by having bookshelves with short, medium, and tall shelves. And then I keep my topics vertically organized. So there's like a vertical section for like Irish knits, and then Scottish knits, and then British knits, and that can work.
Cool.
That can.
Yeah, I have to do a certain amount of organizing by size here as well, so it can't all be alphabetical.
Yeah.
What?
And Robin's picture. What?
That's her thumb or something. Robin, your thumb is on your camera or something.
On purpose?
Oh, okay.
You're
muted.
talking while I'm muted. I was typing a message to Amanda because you were talking and I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh.
So Amanda, we wanted to see your Chevy sweater that you
Oh.
made.
Let me go get it.
All right, I was like, we can wait until next week. It's okay, but
Well, I know where it is because I was just putting
Oh.
stuff away yesterday. It's like, oh, yeah, that's there.
oh, excellent.
And she tailored it so beautifully to her height and everything. It looks really nice.
That's awesome.
It'll be nice when Amanda can come back here.
Anne and Barb, I would like to thank you for getting the sale orders out so fast. You have to give Lillian a hug for me.
She
Because-
just left.
Just left.
She's
Oh,
they were here really late today.
Yeah,
I love Lillian. She's one of my favorite people.
yeah, she's a sweetie.
And
Well, now we have a whole department, you know,
Yeah.
is Lillian does all the paper orders and gets
Everything
then-
ready.
yeah, and then Jean pulls all the yarn and organizes it for Lillian. Who puts it in the envelopes? Does Lillian?
Jean.
Oh, Jean does.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lillian gets the order all together and does all the paperwork and then
And the envelope and then
hands it to Jean and she puts it in the bag.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then Jenna
Will help.
can swing between the two teams. So
well, I got my yarn yesterday, which is pretty amazing. So it was the holiday weekend.
Yeah.
And
We're right up.
I am blaming you, Miss Julie, because I am swatching for a Target sweater right now while I wait for the next clue. It's her home office on Sevens in the Target Finn. So I am just starting, but I already love it. It's fabulous. And I just wanted to thank you guys for that because I really needed to start knitting this sweater. And the pattern is exactly what I need when we don't have Mystery KAL.
There you go.
So I just wanted to thank you because I didn't think I'd get my yarn before this weekend, just based on the sales, the lack of truck drivers, the tourists, and then bam, I got it yesterday.
Yay.
So I was very excited.
Mine
David
came
could have seen
super
the bag.
fast.
If you would have seen David carrying the bags out tonight,
they
you wouldn't have
were,
believed it.
I mean, there were bags that were like 4 feet by 4 feet tall, and
Yeah.
and Barn Box went out today too.
Yeah.
So don't
Did he
forget.
look like a
we're also-
Vietnamese mover with like 8,000 packages on the back of his bicycle?
Yeah.
The size of 5 elephants, you know?
I know. Remember when we used to go to the post office on our bikes? We did that like several times a week.
Yeah,
Um,
can't do that.
Not anymore. Yeah.
Is David there?
Not right now.
He's at the
Oh.
post office.
He went to the post office with everything. So I think he got it all in one load.
Mhm.
I mean, there was a line of bags that big all the way down the hallway. So
Yeah.
plus a couple in Lillian's office and a couple in the kitchen because Jenna was working in the kitchen. Okay.
I know. I said this morning to him, I said, because I've got bins of yarn sitting in the hallway because I don't have any room in the rooms for them. So Lillian goes, you're really going to have to move those, Barb, because we have bags. I said, oh, okay.
Well, I'm glad to hear the sale weekend went well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very well.
Yeah, I ordered, I think on the first day of the sale and my yarn got here on Saturday.
Oh,
That's
that's
good.
great.
Yeah, well, there was a big pile of bags on Friday and David went to bed, you know, he goes to bed in the morning and sleeps during the day. So he went to bed and then all of a sudden he comes back downstairs. I'm like, what's the matter? He's like, I'm gonna go to the post office now. It's not, he's like, I got thinking about it. I'm gonna go to the post office now. It's probably not a good idea to wait till later. I'm like, well, that's good because there won't be any mail on Monday. And this is really smart. I was gonna say something to him, but I didn't. But I'm glad he thought of
It
it.
seems kind of late to be going to the post office. How late is your post office open?
Till 7.
Yeah.
Oh, 7.
And the lobby's open all
lobbies.
night long, so he can go anytime. But but they are actually processing packages until 7. The main post office is right up the street, so they're actually there after 7 too. The desk is open till 7. The lobby's open till I don't know what time, all night, I think. And then people are working there even during the night, I
During
think.
the night, they have night shifts.
But
you just put your packages in. They've got this big thing where you can pull the drawer down and put your packages in.
But
Oh, even
you
if they're
guys-
4 feet by 4 feet?
exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes ours won't fit. They prefer, like, if David goes now, he can go around to the loading dock and
Go
give
from
them
there.
everything. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
They'll bring
Well,
one of
you
those
could-
big cart, they have those
The
big carts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I used
Like
to
a
get
laundry
one
cart.
right by business. I get a cart, bring it out, and load everything in it.
Mhm.
So much easier.
Amanda, are you ready to show off?
Yes, I have my, so I didn't want to pull it on yet because it's too hot, but
Yep.
so this is the,
Oh,
see the back.
Oh,
Oh, that's so
isn't that
pretty.
pretty?
So let's see.
Pretty. Miss you over here, Amanda.
Yeah, you should start going back over there on Wednesday nights, right?
Yep.
Like, why not?
It's faster this way.
Oh my gosh, that looks so good.
Look how
Wow.
pretty.
Keep talking, Amanda.
Okay, well, I'll try not to disconnect my computer while I.
Oh, that looks great.
beautiful.
I did have to adjust the length of the sleeves, and that was, I always cut an inch off, but.
Very nice.
Oh,
That
so
was
pretty.
gorgeous.
Thank you.
That looks great.
Yeah, this sweater was the result of going to knit night in person and seeing it on the mannequin a lot. And it's like,
Uh-huh.
I need that.
What
remember
yarn
yarn?
did you use?
I used the Better Breakfast, the exact same
It's
one, the
gorgeous.
poppy seed.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, Amanda. Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah, Anne was bragging about it and like, we just had to see it.
Well, I saw that the Chevy was the pattern of the week. Or
I bought it. Mhm.
Mhm.
did you? Yeah.
Beautiful.
I think that's the last thing you finished up before we.
I don't remember.
No, she finished a couple shawls and stuff.
Well, her and her thread shawls.
It's not a sweater, Barb doesn't count it.
Yeah.
Well, Amanda will find the thinnest yarn, the thinnest there is, and be knitting with it. It drives me crazy.
She knit a hypnotic during Zoom.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And what else, Amanda, have you been making?
Big red thing for the Red Scar KO.
Yeah, the big twist.
Oh, that was nice.
And
Oh,
let's
okay.
see, what were the,
You knit the pinks, didn't you knit a pink sweater?
Yeah, the Spirit
Yes,
Trail.
Triticum.
Sea Pearl.
Triticum, yeah, that's it.
Triticum.
Yeah.
In Sea Pearl.
Yeah, I seen that. That was
Yeah.
nice.
See, that counts because that's a sweater.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
what was the other sweater I knit?
Is your mom doing
Oh.
any knit?
Yeah, let's see. A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah, let's see. She ripped out the sleeves on, I think it was one of her Elacias and reknit them because they were too long.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And oh, well, so maybe it was a different sweater then, because there was one she knit during, do this thing. And she's knitting a sea sweater right now, but it's not one of Anne's patterns, and I don't remember.
Yeah.
But
Well, Tori said hi.
Barb is knitting something
Mostly
she would
knits
probably like.
here and there.
Yeah.
Show Amanda your
Yeah, your
t-shirt.
mom would like this. And it's real simple. Just all,
It starts from the top and it's all one piece.
yeah, all one
And it's
piece
just-
and
Oh,
around.
yeah.
It's just a
T-shirt.
t-shirt.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I know she's talked about, she likes the robin's nest. I don't think she's decided what she would knit it in.
Yeah.
So
I have
Well,
several
actually, I
suggestions.
think it's probably been, I never knit anybody's patterns but Ann's. And I don't remember the last time I knit somebody else's. Truthfully.
I don't either.
I really don't.
You knit that Brooklyn tweed sweater that time.
Oh, the gray with the red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that was like 6 years ago.
yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah. I buy other people's patterns. I try and support other designers, but I don't make them.
you just don't knit them.
Yeah.
They
Just
got their
don't.
money.
Oh, that
I
looks
bought
good.
a sweater. Yeah, I bought a sweater pattern at the beginning of the year, and I was like, "Oh, great! Now I can figure out what size to do. No measurements,
Right.
like
I
barely
know.
a gauge." And it was top down. I've never done a top down sweater, and I was like, "How do I even figure it out? How do I even know if I'm on? Like, if I'm being? I can't swatch it flat." It's an in the like what am I doing? And everyone's like, oh, just get started. And then how do you count the stitches and rows in a swatch on a top down sweater when it rounds and fans out, so your stitches per inch kind of, I don't know. And then of course I got to the point where you divide for the armholes and it was like 3 sizes too big. And I just threw the whole thing in timeout because I was like, what's the point? Like, I don't even know where to start. Like, if I rip it out,
It's amazing
then
how,
where do I go?
yes, how some designers write their patterns and you really can't. I read them and think, okay, what do they mean?
And this is a very successful designer. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm going to do. I think it's going to become mulch in the garden. Just let it go.
Mulch in the garden.
I knitted a sweater when I was very first starting to knit and brought it to a ladies group and asked one of the ladies who was a real proficient knitter for help on part of it. And she was reading the pattern and it was like, wait a minute, I got to read this again and again. And she finally looked at me and she kind of got this grin on her face and she said, I don't think English is the first language of the person that wrote this pattern. I just can't figure it out.
Oh, at least she tried.
She did. And, it's like, okay, well, if you can't figure it out, I definitely can't figure it out. So I ended up abandoning it.
I have finished clue 4.
Yay!
Nice.
Now I have to think of something. And I still have this much left of my first skein of stone soup.
Oh, okay.
It was really interesting. So I have a whole other skein I can work with if I need it. And this is the large.
Oh, wow.
But there's nothing else I can do on that right now.
I bet you have something else you could work on.
I bet I do. I just have to go figure out which one.
I highly recommend swatching for the sweater knit along in August.
Do you highly recommend that, huh?
Yeah, well, I am going to do her home office both ways. And I think one I'm going to do now and one I'll cast on for the KAL, or it will be Robin's Nest for the KAL, one or the other. Depends on how brain dead I am when the KAL starts.
I can't
I'm
decide.
one of those. I start knitting the sweater. That's how I check my gauge. And if it's not right, then I just rip the sweater on and start again. Don't tell Ann.
I don't care what anyone else does. I know what I have to do to get to the, to get to the starting line.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I don't have anything else to rely on, so I've got
I
to.
kind of figure knitting a sleeve is
a
decent sized gauge swatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to wash and block it to get a correct, count, right?
Yep.
And you have to be willing
Especially
to.
the Target.
I mean, it's fine to start with a sweater piece as your gauge swatch,
Yeah.
as long as you're willing to rip back if you're, especially if it's too small, or, if it's not going to fit you. Don't come crying to me.
Now, you know,
I
don't have a
am
problem with
so
smell.
sure that no one has ever come crying to you, Anne. Ever, ever. Why would they do that?
I mean, the first thing I always ask everybody is,
Did you swatch? No, she always
did you-
asked me, well, did you read it?
You're right, Barb. Barb is the one exception. The first thing I ask her is, did you read it?
Did you read it? No.
Because I know her. She either doesn't read it at all, like she just sails along making up her own thing, or she reads it, she looks at it but doesn't read it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I
remember
didn't
that.
see that comma.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get all kinds of doozies.
Catherine, I will give you one heads up about the Target as you're knitting, because I ran into this as I was knitting this. I always spit splice everything.
Yeah.
And I forgot this wasn't washed. And I went to spit splice it. And it was just nasty.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
So dip the ends in water. Don't put them in your mouth.
Yeah, or just make sure
Or
you got
spit in your hand.
On your hand.
Yeah, that's what I do. I spit it in my.
I just put both ends in my mouth.
Oh no!
I do too.
But
I do
not
too,
with- don't do
Sophia.
it with the Target.
I'm
Yeah,
so glad you shared that.
No, I always
Or
do
with
it in my
any of the
hand.
yard. Yeah.
I was gonna say, how did she get it in her mouth?
I just take the ends because I don't like to spit into my hand. So I just.
Oh,
I
but you're
just
gonna
like-
rub it
You're
on your
gonna
hand
rub it on your
anyway.
hand.
I know, but I don't know. It never occurred to me to do it that way. But this just tastes like oil.
Ooh, where
Yeah.
was it?
Disgusting.
It was just nasty.
Not to mention what else could still be on.
I know.
Oh, gross.
Oh,
Yeah.
Julie.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's probably like kids eating dirt. It's good for your
Yeah.
immune
Yeah.
Right.
system.
Yeah, you could tell
Builds up
she's
your immune system.
You can tell she's a math teacher and not a biology teacher.
Yeah.
Well, I think I
Sorry,
mentioned
Julie.
before that my husband is insulating his van with some wool, and he got these great big huge bales of it, and he opened it up this weekend
My God.
and it smelled like a barnyard.
He
But-
didn't realize it wasn't washed.
Well, no, he realized that it wasn't washed, and he had seen something about that you need to air it out a little bit first. And so for a couple of days over the weekend, we had all these bats of wool on the patio furniture out in the back. And then he watched, of course, read the directions last. And it said that if you have to pull it apart because the bats weren't losing their odor. And finally, he figured out that you have to pull it apart. And they lost the odor within an hour.
Oh, wow.
And he got the whole van insulated, and you walk in there and you can't smell a thing. But we were pretty worried.
And it's not only insulating, but it's a fire retardant as well.
Yeah. Well, and he was going to have a neighbor help him do this, and the neighbor said, "Oh, just get that pink insulation at Home Depot." And it was, I think the neighbor was concerned about it was a money thing because that was so much less expensive. But my husband would have never been comfortable, thinking that he was going to breathe that fiberglass stuff potentially.
Yeah, it's really close quarters for that.
Yeah, and then based on your suggestion, Anne, I gave him a bunch of socks that I had knitted that I'd worn out the feet on that I wasn't going to repair. And I said, okay, I said, Anne and David stuffed old sweaters and stuff in their house for insulation. Do you want a bunch of socks? So he's got one section of the wall that's full of knitted socks.
Awesome.
I really like that story. That's fun.
Yeah, it was very fun.
Well, David started doing that right away when he started working on the house, but ironically, when we did the kitchen and had the city building inspector had to come and inspect the plumbing and the electricity and stuff, that he said to David, there was like some crevices around the electricity that needed filling, and he said, just if he's like, wool is a good thing to use if you've got some wool. Really funny.
He didn't know who he was talking to.
No, they don't know.
That's funny because I had a dentist and I was having a problem with one of my teeth, and he said, well, Barb, you're going to need something thicker than dental floss. He said, if you could find some yarn. And I just started laughing.
Don't use the Target.
Yeah. So you can use yarn as dental floss.
Depending what your tooth troubles are.
Yeah. Then you have to decide what gauge, what.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it a lace weight problem? Is it a worsted problem?
Right.
I love how you moved your purse and cardigan that is now laying on.
I know, I was going to say that. I moved my purse for you, cardigan.
It smells like you.
But I turned my phone on silent. So
She
it
got
won't wake her.
comfortable with her head on it.
Robin, that looks nice.
I'm trying to see if and it's reminding me of how this all came about, how I kept putting my scarf on my arm and saying this would be Al, look at this, wouldn't it be such a beautiful sweater? And he would say, I can't help you with that. So Julie, what sweater are you gonna knit for the KAL?
I'm not sure yet. It depends what all I get through this summer. I certainly have enough sweater quantities to choose from. I want to knit her home office. I want to knit Robin's nest. So one of those. I'll see what I'm in the mood. What the moods, which mood strikes by the time that rolls around.
Right.
The home office won't take very long. It goes really quickly. It's a very, very quick one.
And very satisfying.
So in theory, if I get this done quickly, I could try to get that in before the KAL. And then do Robin's Nest during the KAL.
That's what I'm trying to do, I think, Julie. And then I have the Stone Soup DK to do the cardigan version as a backup plan, just because I'm going to be moving at some point during the KAL, and I don't know brain wise if I can handle it. So I'm thinking I'm going to do the Targi, do the pullover in the Targi Sport, because I'll want to wear that out of all the sweaters first, as a transitional piece. And then, you know, and if I don't get this seamed or anything, it's okay if this sort of sits on the side while I start one of the KALs. I really wanted to do Unbroken next, but my brain
Oh,
can't
there's
handle
that.
that or Robin's Nest yet. I'm just trying
I forgot about Unbroken. I want to do that too.
Yeah.
Let me just say that's exciting that you'll be moving in, Catherine.
I know. It looks like it, right now it's looking like around Labor Day. So,
Good luck with that.
thank you.
How's it looking?
They started delivering the cabinets on Tuesday, and that surprised me because that was the first like thing that looked like something I would actually see and live with, you know, besides the bathtub. And that was really cool. But then it's like, oh, there's so much to do. And there's a lot of cabinetry because of I have it in a lot of spaces in the house. So but you know, in about 4 weeks, hopefully the electrician will go in and he'll start putting like the plates on all the light switches, and that, you know, that stuff takes a while, but it's definitely good. We're only about 4 weeks behind schedule. So on a 6-month project, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
And we have no supply issues or anything like that. So we ordered everything last year. So it's all good. I mean, the only thing that could really throw us off at this point would be, knock on wood, you know, a major hurricane or something. But I don't think, we don't typically have those, anything that would be disruptive like that until late August or the month of September. So it looks like Labor Day weekend. Yeah.
Nice.
You played the suppliers very well by getting it all up front and early.
Well, I'm really lucky I played the builders well because I jumped on the opportunity when I guess a lot of people canceled projects or paused them. And I was thinking, well, I'm stuck at home. This is a good time to tackle this project. And so I kind of slid in, and now all the builders have like 2-year wait lists to start projects. And those are ones that are already like contractually signed and things like that. So I'm so lucky. Like I just got in at the sweet spot where they needed jobs, they needed work. I got a good price, got everything ordered before supply problems and inflation, and you know,
way to go.
You must be living right.
I mean, it's just the financial brain. When you see those opportunities, you got to jump on them. And that means just as much as you can, keeping things in order. But like, I'm lucky. I don't have kids and a family and things like that to support and juggle. So it's easy for me to kind of, you know, say that. I know, but
You can adapt as needed.
Yeah, but I'm also one of those people that's always looking for opportunities. Like I'm the person who's like, oh my gosh, they have accidentally listed tickets to Tokyo for $200 round trip, and I'll just go. Like I'm that kind of, you know, opportunist. So when I saw that happening is when I really thought about doing it. Anne's been trying to push me to upgrade my kitchen for years. So she was actually one of the people that talked me into doing this. I was really hesitant. So it's Anne's fault.
And then you went so much further than
I know, it's true. Well, once
I know.
Pandora's box was
I worked in her kitchen for 1 week, and I was like, this is a hellhole. And it wasn't even a hellhole compared to my old kitchen, but it was. I think what bothered me the most, Catherine, was that you had so much counter space and so many cabinets, and it was still a hellhole. like my old kitchen had 3 feet of counter space and no cabinets basically. And so it was understandably a hellhole to work in. But when all of that is sitting there and you can't use it appreciably, that's just so annoying, you know?
I know. I have so much equipment for my chef days. I have all of like, nobody else has like a drum sieve. I have a giant drum sieve, and I will never part with it because it would be impossible to replace. and I do use it on occasion. So it's like, I've got 20,000 more kitchen things than most people would.
Sounds wonderful.
So did you design your remodel, or did you work with a designer, or what'd you do?
I worked with a designer builder. I didn't do any of the design. I chose him because he has a reputation of being like a lot of integrity, rarely runs late on projects, really easygoing, easy to work with, but was known for his cabinetry design and being able to really design for the person. So he walked through my house and basically said, we're going to turn your dining room into a giant pantry with tons of cabinet space, which will change a lot of things. And my house was a spec home. So it was built without really any closets, which was the problem. So it wasn't even just that the kitchen was cluttered with kitchen tools and stuff. It was just the whole house. I didn't have like a coat closet. I didn't have a linen closet. I had one small pantry closet for food and cleaning and vacuum and dog food. And, you know, it was like a classic, a guy designed it and didn't think closets were a good idea, you know?
Yeah. Cool. Sounds like
So-
it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it needed a rethink of the space. And so the house is just a different feel to it, where rooms can be easily converted to be a different function. So like my office will have a table desk, so it can be converted to like a large dining room table if I need it to be. But since I live alone, I don't need a dining room that I only use a few times a year.
Right.
So it's more of like,
Well, your old dining room was your yarn winding area.
Yeah, that was my yarn room, right? It's true. Yeah, so everything's gonna have a function now. So that'd be good.
Nice.
I'm
Sounds
guessing
wonderful.
whoever designed it is also in the storage unit business, so that everybody who didn't have closets had to go get a storage unit.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think he has any warehouse space.
No, I meant because the spec house, all those people who don't have any closets, they either have to buy a little yard shed or.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could be right, actually, Audrey. It's funny you say that. He's one of the guy who built the house was one of those kind of people that dabbles a little in this, dabbles a little in that. Oh, I'll build a spec home because the town's growing kind of thing. So you could be right.
Yeah. Well, one time we've always had storage units, and we were moving, and he said, yeah, you know, I tell people I'm in the procrastination business. Everybody just puts off making decisions.
It's supposed to rain.
I think in my house, when Anne was with me and we were doing pairings, was like a perfect storm of spec house without storage meets girl with ADHD and clutter tendencies on the extreme scale, with dogs, cooking for a project where we had 8,000 ingredients and weren't sure exactly what we were doing. And, you know, it was hot and it was summertime and there were dogs underfoot and
there was never any place to put anything down. It was crazy. And she had countertops. She had countertops all the way around the kitchen and an island, and there was still never any place to put anything down.
Well, the stove was in the island. There wasn't as much countertop space as you think, though. That's what was so weird about it.
Yeah.
Just looked like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we looked at a house like that when we moved to Reno. There was just, I told my husband that I really want a really nice, super functional, large kitchen, because I love to cook and we like to entertain. And so we looked at this one house and it had a ton of counter space. He's like, you love this kitchen, right? No, it's just not functional. You know, you imagine how you move around in a kitchen, and you're going to get your 10,000 steps, you know, making breakfast. And it's just not functional.
Yeah, and then, you know, people will do things like put refrigerators in the middle of things, so kids are always coming into the middle of all the action to get like,
Mhm.
you know, water from the water dispenser or whatever. It's got to have good strategic flow. Anne's kitchen is amazing to work in. It's got such good flow to it.
Oh, just from what I've seen on the Zoom calls, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm happy every day that we have a new kitchen. The old kitchen, in addition to being like
closet size.
That's just it. The new kitchen has exactly the same footprint as the
I
old
know, it's
kitchen.
hard to believe.
Mhm.
In addition to being all cut up badly, had a traffic lane through it to go to the basement.
Yeah, right.
It's like, oh, can you just take away 8 more feet of my space? You know, look how dark it's getting.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I
it was
probably should be
crazy.
going.
Audrey, are you joining the knit along? The
I
sweater?
am. I'm gonna knit. I really like that snowberry that Jessica McDonald.
Oh, right. Yes.
So I already had ordered my stone soup for that. And what I like about it is it covers my shoulders, and it's it looks like the arms are going to be a nice fit. I don't like baggy sweaters, and I don't have a button band, which I think is fabulous. It just looks like a really nice transitional sweater for the fall before you really need to be warm, you know,
Yeah,
buttoned up.
Open front.
Yeah, but her picture, she has herself out in a snowstorm, but I think she's pretty much a mountain mama who's impressive. 4 kids, homeschooling, runs her own design business, has a huge garden. She must.
What's her name?
Jessica McDonald. And recently on one of the Instagrams, she designed a child sweater using, what yarn did she use on that one, Anne? Was it stone soup again?
Are you talking about the side-eye sweater?
No, not the
That's
side.
the other-
Jessica McDonald, you posted a little child sweater she's working on. That's
Okay, well,
simple.
the both designers that we're working with designed a child sweater in the last like 2 weeks. So
Hers wasn't stone soup.
hers was just the plain, like a V-neck, a little V-neck pullover,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. I think it was better breakfast, actually.
But I thought both of hers, the adult and the child's, was done in stone soup.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I could be wrong.
The
but I
side-eye
think-
sweater with the sheep motif on
Yeah,
it,
that
those were both in stone soup fingering.
Yeah,
So-
that was way more complex than the one I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
Julie's, hers was real simple.
Caitlin Shepherd is her name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't Caitlin's.
Yeah. I know who they both are, but they both had new patterns recently.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
kids.
Is
I'm
it
getting the
that,
picture.
Audrey?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the no button band.
Yeah.
That's right. And it's a top down. I wanted to try a top down sweater because I can knit it to fit my shoulders. My shoulders seem to be my defining point. They're rather broad. And so often to get my shoulders the right size, it can, my sweaters can be baggy around the upper chest. Yeah.
Oh, that is gonna be so
Yeah,
soft.
That's totally
That's-
fixable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have to realize I've only made 2 sweaters, so I didn't think anything was fixable till I at least could get through a pattern as written, because I didn't even know how they would fit.
And you're right. And you're right about that. I mean, most people have to make a couple sweaters before they can think about altering them or tailoring them.
Yeah.
I agree.
Hi, y'all. I gotta go. Thanks so much.
All right, Geeka, good night.
Geeka.
Hi.
I'm gonna leave too here because it looks like it's gonna
Yeah, it's
storm and my dog
Quickly turning
Yeah.
dark.
has a hard
outside.
time with thunder, so.
Yeah. aw.
Yep, I gotta leave too. It's time to go back to the office. This has been a great work break. Thanks, everybody.
Good to see you
Bye-bye.
later.
Have a good trip to
Bye.
Portland,
Hey,
Ann.
guys,
Thank you.
See that
see you
melatonin?
tomorrow.
I gave her one today.
I know.
I forgot I
I-
had it. And after whatever, it's been like 6 nights in a row of tension and anxiety, and then thunderstorms on top of it. I was like, I'm giving her one, and she's been sacked out.
What, does Bentley not like
my-
the storms?
No, I slept in the bathtub for 3 nights practically with him for fireworks.
Oh, yeah,
Aw.
Mattis hated the fireworks. This is
Yeah,
the
I
first
went in the
year he was like
bathroom.
in my lap the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
And
Bentley tries to be, and he's just too big. So I'd get in the bathtub with my pillow and blanket and, put the fan
Yeah.
on, some noise, and he felt the best there.
Oh, yeah,
How
you
was
better
the
go
rest-
home. Yeah.
That seemed to help.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was the
Are
second
you
night.
guys getting weather from the tropical storm?
No, I don't know where it's
No,
coming from.
it's,
Oh,
but we will
Yeah.
probably. It's supposed to rain for the next week, and it's probably going to come from a couple different directions. And it sounds like the storm that passed us by earlier today hit the East Coast later on.
Yeah, and some
so-
of it seemed like it went more north.
Yeah, I think
yeah,
it's
it's
coming
gonna go.
from the west.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the hurricane people here say it's gonna go like over Raleigh.
Mhm.
That's just based on the path today. And so it's not gonna be that far from you as far as throwing water towards
No,
you.
but the one that's coming through now is definitely moving west to east,
It
not
came up
coming
from-
from the south.
Came up
right
from
now.
like St. Louis area.
Yeah, it's
I'm
coming.
sorry.
Oh,
through.
the rain that you're
Mhm.
having now. Oh, okay.
The storm, yeah, it actually hasn't rained yet. It's just been thundering and dark. It probably rained somewhere close by, but not here.
I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, bye, Barb.
Okay.
Bye, Barb.
Bye, Barb.
Bye, Barb.
Bye.
Hi, Carrie.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good.
You.
So,
Both the boys are gone, right?
no, Isaac's here.
Oh,
Ethan's gone at camp. And we don't hear from him that much now that they've got the kids there. He's very busy.
I just love this Target.
Isn't that the same one you're using for the shawl, or which
Yep.
one? Oh, the white, right?
Yep. I don't know why I'm in a white mood these days.
Yeah, you are doing a bunch of white.
I
You
am.
you look great in it, so it's a nice color. Or
I've got my Robin's Nest watch right next to me if anybody wants to see it in
Sure.
the white.
Jody has a
skin
que-
dandy.
Jody. Oh, that's pretty.
Hey.
Jody has a question. So, Jody,
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello? Okay, so this is the first time I've been able to join in because I'm actually walking right now. So I apologize that I can't figure out how to do the video and walk and all that, but I just wanted to say hello. And I just,
we lost
started
you,
doing-
Jody.
Oh, now can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, I can hear
Okay,
you.
okay, so I just started with the make along the honeybee, and then I just ordered some stone soup fingering. So I'm gonna try doing a cardigan.
Oh,
So
awesome.
I just wanted to say hi. I'm in Michigan, and if I can figure out how to do the video, I'll pop in. But if not, I'm listening.
Good.
Well,
Thank
what
you.
sweater are you gonna do?
I think I'm gonna try the dandelion.
Ooh.
So we'll see how that goes. I'm adventurous, so I'll give it a shot. And I heard you guys talking about stone soup. I usually catch the recorded Zoom session when I'm walking in the evenings. And so I heard you guys talking about stone soup so much, I decided I had to try it.
It's good
Oh,
stuff.
you're gonna love it. Yeah, you're gonna love it.
So I got my shipment notice today, so it should be on its way to me.
Yay.
So thank you. I'll let you guys get back to your discussion. So I'm going to keep walking and listening.
Cool.
Thank you.
I missed all of that because our connection went wonky for a minute.
She bought some stone soup and she's gonna do the dandelion honey sweater with it, she thinks.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Watching now, but in the Kent DK for that sweater. Not that you can see it because it's so tiny.
Ooh.
Kent Lace or Kent DK?
Kent Lace, sorry. What did I just say? DK? No, not the DK.
I was gonna say, are you getting engaged?
Probably not. But I have a better shot at it with the lace.
That sweater would also be pretty in better breakfast fingering, even though I'm not sure it's on the list or not.
I was trying to remember, one was done in stone soup, the sample that that Sherry made, was that stone soup or was that
Yeah,
breakfast?
stone soup fingering. Yep.
Okay. I really liked the look of that.
Yeah, it's really nice. I'm really glad we did that sample because lots of people like the way it looks.
Yeah. I'm not a short sleeve sweater person. If I have short sleeves, it's probably t-shirt weather, but the longer sleeve on that really spoke to me.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you could lengthen it all the way fairly easily.
I was guessing that would be the case, but first I gotta get my swatch right because this is a little more challenging.
Mm-hmm.
I don't usually swatch in a lace pattern.
This her home office pattern is simple, but oh my gosh, it is really soothing. Like with every row, my blood pressure just ratchets down to like another point. It's just, it's satisfying too.
I really should get one of my wish list sweaters on the needles, like either that one, that pullover, or I still want to make wild fillies in the Jacob that I have yarn set aside for it, but haven't knit it yet.
The two ply?
What?
The 2-ply Jacob?
All the Jacob is 2-ply.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the Jacob Sport. We have a sample in the shop and I just love it. It's like the perfect everyday sweater.
Look, Jody got her video going.
She
did.
Good work.
Now you can put a face with the voice, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like a beautiful walk.
It's I try to walk every night. Well, we've got thunderstorm warnings, but in my area, but not right here in this area. So nearby, but not close enough to chase me inside yet.
Where do you live, Jody?
In Livonia, Michigan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And actually, Anne, I don't know if that's you talking. I can't see on my screen, but one of my college roommates years ago is from North Canton, which I believe is where you're from, right?
I'm from New York, but we live in Canton.
Oh, okay. Well,
Canton.
that's
Yeah, but
okay.
close enough. North Canton's just 5 miles away, so.
Okay, I thought I'd heard you mention it or somebody mentioned it, so
Yeah,
I made.
yeah. Kaya lives in North Canton.
Okay.
Yeah, we have several employees that live there.
Okay. So yeah, I'm originally from Kent, Ohio, so just down the road from you. Yeah, but not anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah.
When does the sweater knit along start?
We haven't set an exact date yet, but it's going to be the first week of August. And I did talk to Kaya about it, and I think we decided, let me look. I think we decided on maybe the 7th, which would be the Saturday. See, the reason it's a little bit sticky is 3 different staff members are going on vacation at the same week, or they're overlapping, starting with the 8th of August and ending like on the 20th. We'll have 3 people out at different times. So we wanted to get the sweater knit along started beforehand, or at least get it all set. Like they don't have to be here for me to actually start the knit along, but it has to be a listing in the store, and all the particulars have to be set up. So I think we either decided on the 7th or the 11th for the start date. And then it will extend pretty far, it'll extend all the way through September and into October. So it'll be longer this time. It'll be an extra 4 weeks for people who might have felt a little rushed by our timeline last year.
Carrie, do you know what you're making?
I have no idea. I probably won't decide until like 3 days beforehand.
That's good. I usually wait till after it starts.
Yeah, I mean,
So you have no idea, Anne, either?
I don't know, because I've already got Robin's Nest going.
Yeah.
So I might do something for Dave, maybe at his home office.
Oh, it's such a nice sweater to knit.
There's time if you're a fast knitter to knit like a couple different things. So, because it's going to be like 10 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know how much time I'm going to have, because in 2 weeks we're going to pick up a puppy.
Oh,
Oh. Okay, talk
What
all about it. I want all the details. Come on.
You want all the details?
Oh,
Yeah.
bring it. Yes.
Oh, I don't know if I can. Let me see if I have the picture. He is a mini golden doodle.
Oh.
And I have a friend in Pennsylvania, southern Pennsylvania, who has a beloved pet, and she decided she was going to breed her. So these are her puppies, and she bred her with another friend's mini golden doodle.
Wow. I didn't even know they did mini golden doodles.
Yeah, so it's a mini poodle with a golden retriever, and they're 75% poodle, which makes them hypoallergenic, which was our requirement because Isaac is allergic to dogs. He's allergic to dogs and cats, less dogs than cats. So let me see if I can share. Can I share my screen for a second?
Oh, please
I
do.
don't have it. It's just, whoops. Well, I have to go get my phone then. Hold on.
Someone brought up the topic of COVID dogs over 4th of July weekend, and apparently a lot of dogs are being abandoned now that people have to go back to work.
Oh dear.
They thought it would be a good idea. Maybe I don't know how they're being abandoned or just taken to shelters or what.
Well, here he is.
Oh my
Oh,
God. Do you have a name yet?
so cute.
Well, we're trying to decide. So, you know, the house is extremely quiet with Ethan gone because he's the one extrovert in the family. So we thought getting a puppy would be good for all of us because otherwise Isaac will never leave the house. And
Right. Right.
and it'll give us something to do, all of us, because we're all just kind of like, because the house is so big, we just kind of do our own things in separate rooms. And
Right. Yeah.
so yeah, that's going to be our new adventure.
How big will the puppy be when you get it?
Well, the parents are around 25 pounds. So I guess it's a kind of a recognized breed now, but it's not like an official, there's no like standard. So they can vary between 15 and 35. My sister-in-law has one that's 35 pounds, which, I mean, I can't visualize what a 25, 35 pound dog size is.
Cardigan is 25.
Oh, okay.
And she's a slim, you know, she's a longer, slimmer dog. Like she's not bulky or super muscular like a pit bull. So she looks big in pictures, but she's actually really pretty small.
Peppa and Mattis are both about 74, 75 pounds, and they're small for Labradors. Wow. And they're what some people call like English Labradors, though there's really no such thing. Just a lot of the breeders bred Labradors get too big. And so when you stick to the standard, they look small to us now. So people refer to that as English because they think they came from England or something.
Labs are heavy dogs. I mean, they're bulkier. Like poodles are very, very light. So like my nephew has a schnoodle, a Schnauzer poodle mix, and it's like a feather. You know, he's leggy and long-legged and everything, but he's super, super light. So I think he only weighs about 20 pounds or something. So your dog will be probably surprisingly light for the size he is.
Oh, interesting.
Does that make sense?
You know, probably like a spaniel size.
Yeah. Yeah, probably really similar to Cardigan, where, you know, she's a lot smaller and lighter than she looks, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. You know, you never know how big they'll be till they grow.
Yeah, I mean, the retriever is going to add some weight to it, but even those dogs are they're a lot of fluff for their size.
I actually found, Carrie, that I knit more when I had the puppies because even though like I was up and down a lot, like taking them out constantly, you can't leave them alone at all for like the first year. They can never, what is it my trainer says, like, if you can't see your puppy's doing something wrong. Like you should always, whether it's in a crate or whatever. And so I found that, you know, having to always be in their presence, I just did a lot more knitting, but it had to be simple things because I was putting it down and picking it up all the time.
Mhm. Yeah, with knitting, you can keep an eye on something else, unlike doing computer work or whatever.
Yeah, they take a lot of naps. You can't take them on long walks for a long time until their bones are developed. Like, you think at first it's going to be more, it's more disruptive in that it interrupts you, but you still are just as productive in a lot of ways. You just add about 20 minutes of cleaning up pee and poop into your day, you know, at some point, and of course, like some playtime. But you guys could take shifts.
Yeah, I think we've already decided Dave's gonna take the morning shift because he gets up at 6. And Isaac and I both sleep in until 7, or sometimes Isaac sleeps till 9.
Yeah, whenever possible.
Yeah. He's a teenager, so.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
you're gonna have the
this is
best
kind of
time.
new for us. We have to get all the paraphernalia.
You've never had a dog at all?
Not in our adult lives. Like Dave and I both
Oh.
had dogs when we were, young in our families growing up, but we've never had one because the boys have always been allergic. And and the only, reason why we could even afford this is because my dad is chipping in. It's part of Isaac's birthday present, 16th birthday present this year.
Aw.
And she's a friend, so she's giving us a little bit of a discount.
I highly, if you haven't looked into it, I highly personally recommend crate training, especially with puppies. For 2 reasons. One, they have their own place where they feel safe. So if anything happens, like if you had to leave town suddenly or he ever has to go to the hospital, it's like a low stress situation.
Mm-hmm.
And because I didn't raise Rex, my first dog, crate trained as a puppy, and he'd freak out in a crate. And then I had to work him out, like work him through that. And also it gives you an opportunity for a timeout. Like if the puppies, they get overtired just like kids, like they need nap times too.
Mm-hmm.
And that saves a lot of money and stress when you can do that. And you guys like to travel a lot, so crates make it really easy to travel with the dog.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 6-hour drive home from my friend's place. So hopefully we'll probably buy something. Is there a special crate for the car?
People like different ones. I would get just what works for your size dog, that he can grow into, and that'll just be his crate for life.
You just move it in and out of the house, you think? That would be best?
That's what I always do.
Okay.
So some people prefer the wire ones.
Yeah.
And some people prefer the plastic ones. So it just depends. I like the plastic ones because they can't, snag a dew claw on the wire and pull it, or a collar or a toy doesn't get stuck in the wire. The plastic ones give less access to that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The plastic ones don't have as much air circulation. Something that's collapsible is nice for portability.
They have some really nice wooden ones for the house. If you prefer something that looks like furniture, they have all these really nice, looks like a cabinet, but it's open, it's screened or slatted on the side. So it's like a little dog house in the house, I guess.
Yeah, I had to, with
permanent.
Peppa, she had to have a blanket over her crate. Like she really needed that sort of den dark feeling. My other dogs could have cared less. Mattis doesn't love the crate. Peppa does. Like even at her age, if Mattis overtires her or something, she goes and gets in his crate and just takes it over, and it's just like bugger off,
Mm-hmm.
So like it's her safe place. She feels really comfortable in it. And that's nice. Like if I ever had to evacuate or something happened or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, she was just in the hospital last month. It was stress-free because she is comfortable in a crate,
Yeah.
you know? So, now when I had to evacuate for Hurricane Florence and I picked up Mattis and I brought a crate with me and I was trying to crate train him. My dad, we never grew up doing that. He couldn't stand it. So he'd sneak into my room and let Mattis out of the crate when I'd leave because he couldn't handle like the 10 minutes of crying. So crate training Mattis took a little while, but now he's good with it.
Well, I'm sure I'll have lots and lots more questions.
Oh, I'm here for you, sister.
Okay, good.
You know, I found with both our dogs that it's like working with toddlers, you know, just you've taught your own kids and your kids are very well behaved. And so when it comes to behavior, that consistency that you have to have with toddlers, it just applies to dogs too. You know, it's really important to be consistent and for everybody in the household to agree that this is how we do this, and what you know, what you reward them for and what you don't, and what behavior you do want to shape and what behavior you don't. And it's pretty stress-free, you know, if you just decide that way and treat them like they're intelligent, which they really are.
Yeah, and I really recommend puppy school. I know a lot of people think it's a waste of time because all of dogs learn how to do is sit and whatever, but the advantage of like classes at a young age that you follow through on for the first year is it forces the whole family to be consistent. Everybody's on the same page about what the commands are, what the hand gestures are. And I've had so many, you know, 4 dogs now through training schedules. I've seen so many other families and stuff in all these classes with me, and families where everybody takes a turn in the classes. Like you go as a family to the class, and then for some of the exercises, dad does them, and some of the exercises, the kids do them. They always are successful because it's more about the people getting on the same page and not confusing the dog. The families where the kids just sit there and watch and the kids aren't involved with the follow through and the commands, those are the ones where those are the people that have the chaotic households because the dog doesn't take anybody's commands seriously. Right. So I highly, just from what I've seen, highly recommend, like, that's something everybody does together. It's family time, no negotiation. This is what we're doing. And whether it's, you know, you find a place that works for everybody's schedule, or you bring somebody in once a month that says, okay, here's what you're going to work on, you know, and they come to your house or whatever. There are lots of reasonable options, you know.
Okay.
Even like researching and saying, okay, the second Thursday of every month, we're going to teach the puppy this command, you know, and just being on the same page with it.
Gotcha.
I think that's very sound advice. One of our daughters got one. They've got 3 kids. It's a wildly active house, and the commands were very confusing for little Penny. And she was crate trained, which helped. But then she also wasn't socialized because it was COVID, so they never had other people around. So it's been hard for Penny, and she really needed a blanket over her wire cage because she was too stimulated with such a busy household. But it doesn't sound like your house is the same as theirs with 3 kids and 2 working parents who neither one of them could be home enough to do the training. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, Isaac and I will be home all the time because he's homeschooled, and Dave is going to, even when he goes back to work, it's only going to be 2 days a week.
Yeah, socialization will be important because even Mattis, with COVID, he, you know, when they're puppies and you get them around other puppies and other people, they learn at a young age to work through adrenaline. They get an adrenaline kick and they learn to not A, go that high, and B, just to work through that feeling. Mattis had a huge backslide because of COVID. And when he'd see people, he was like completely out of control, jumping on everybody, disobedient, the whole thing. And I realized I just had to go back to square one, as if we were in like second grade again, and get him re-socialized and working through that feeling. It was a lot of work. And it was just because nobody came over for 6 months. And then the first time a friend came over, it was total pandemonium. So it's like, you just have to make that kind of effort, but you'll meet great people. You'll have like dog walking friends that you'll meet in the neighborhood. It's really great. Like,
Yeah,
I know all the dogs on
you're
my
about to
road.
make a whole bunch of new friends in your neighborhood.
Good.
You'll know all the other dog names. You might not know your neighbors' names, but you'll know your dog names for a long time before you learn their names. And
especially if you do go for long walks, eventually, you know, get the dog out walking. I don't know if those are the walking kind of dogs, but some dogs really can do some miles, and you really meet a lot of different people that way.
Well, my sister-in-law says her dog is very active, has a lot of energy. So.
yeah, on Monday, I was at my house doing we had some unusually mild weather, just the mid 80s. For the holiday, I went out to my house and I had just Mattis with me working in the garden, and my neighbors put in a swimming pool. It's very small, next door, saltwater pool. And Mattis just went right on over and got in the pool and went for a swim, rescued a pool floaty out of the pool. My neighbor came by and she's like, "Hey, just want to let you know Mattis is taking a swim." And I was like, "Say what?" And, you know, he just is like, he loves their kids, and my neighbors are great. They don't care if Mattis goes over there. But it was kind of funny because, you know, they know Mattis better than they know me. One time, one of the kids took Peppa into the house for like a half an hour. And this is when I was moving. I didn't even know Peppa was over there. And then I got a text like, "Oh, Peppa's enjoying her peanut butter sandwich." And I was like, what? I thought she was in the backyard, you know? That's funny.
A couple weeks ago, we were out walking, and Cardigan has this boyfriend dog. Like, I mean, she turns into a little wiggly puddle of love when she sees this dog, like totally not like her at all. And they play, you know, they like each other, but she gets literally giddy when she sees this dog. So normally we just see each other on the street, but a couple weeks ago we were at a corner getting ready to cross, and his owner John comes driving up with Fritz in the car, and they ride around in the evenings, and Fritz howls out the window throughout the neighborhood and sings to everybody, you know. So anyway, they drive up, and Fritz is singing, and the two dogs see each other, and Cardigan just jumps up on the door of the car, and you know, the two of them are like, you know, communicating at the stoplight, and all the other cars at the intersection were just entranced with this dog scene, you know. Nobody was moving because they were all looking at the dogs. It was so funny.
Oh my gosh.
She's got friends all over the place. I mean, within a 10-mile radius of our house, she's got friends, but Fritz is very special. And she's got a couple or three that are really her best buddies. as well as her one and only.
You're gonna have so much fun. It's gonna be the best frustrating fun you've ever had. You're gonna love it. I know you are. You're gonna love it.
Yeah, I think it'll be good for everybody.
I mean, you enjoy your kids so much. I don't mean to keep relating it to kids, but it is like kids. And, you know, you enjoy your kids so much. I can't imagine that you won't enjoy the dog. You know, it's going to be so fun. I wish we could get another one. I don't know.
Well, she had one left, but I think it might be taken now.
Yeah, no, not one of the, I actually, no, I wouldn't want that kind, but I think having a second walking dog would be fun. As much as I like Riley, she really can't go as far or anything. Once in a while she gets a good 4-mile walk in or something, but mostly she's a pain in the neck on a walk, but we don't say that to her.
Well, and I will say, just prepare yourself for like vet bills and have a serious discussion about whether or not you get insurance, because now they offer insurance for dogs.
Oh yeah, we were thinking about doing that.
Well, some people love it and some people don't. And it really just depends on your personal, situation. But for instance, Peppa had this emergency bleeding episode where we went to our vet, they had to run all these tests, and then she had to spend one night in the hospital. So that they could give her IV fluids. So at the hospital, they didn't really have to do anything, just monitor and give her IV fluids. So all the tests, all the blood work, the treatment with my vet during the day, that was $600. And then the vet overnight just to be watched was like another $800. And that was with the medications they sent me home with. And the thing that frustrates me is like people don't expect that they're going to have those expenses from time to time. And at the very least, you'll have that at the end of life, right? Of the dog.
Right.
And so if you feel like those kinds of surprises from time to time, like they'll have accidents. One time Rex had a blade of grass embedded in his eyeball from playing too hard, right? Like he got a face plant and we had to go to the vet a couple $100 later. So it happens, especially with an active breed, like any of the doodles, your sporting dogs that are playful like that, they have accidents. So pet insurance is not that expensive and it might be a good deal for you. And the people I know that have it and have used it have loved it, right? Yeah. But I always, after the first couple of times I had unexpected vet visits, I always keep, a little extra cash in the account just for situations like that. So when I had to go to the hospital last month, it was like, okay, this is probably going to be a $2,000 bill. Oh, it's only $1,400 bill. Oh, maybe I can buy some more sweater yarn. You know what I mean? Like, as long as I'm planned for it, I don't find it as upsetting. So, but nobody ever tells you how bad the vet bills can be.
Yeah, we have heard. My sister-in-law had an issue with her old dog before her mini doodle. So she really recommended that.
Yeah, I mean, when Cardigan got attacked and her jaw was broken off, it was over $4,000.
Wow.
Out of the blue, and the person whose dog it was offered to pay, but then didn't. So, we weren't gonna deprive her of care or anything. I mean, she was otherwise completely healthy and lively, and there was, it wasn't a choice of like having a brain dead dog or anything like that. So.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but our family, their puppy liked to chew on hair ties, and there were a lot of hair ties on the floor apparently. And she had emergency surgery.
Yeah.
But they said if you if you don't have pet insurance and you want it after an incident, it's more expensive than if you have it from the beginning. Now, I don't have a dog, but that's what they said for theirs, because she's still a puppy and she'll still eat hair ties. So reasonably, they're charging more.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
And dogs eating stuff, I mean, if they eat a stocking or a sock, it can do like fatal damage in their intestines. Like it has to be operated on. You can't just let it pass through or anything. And lots of I mean, we had dogs my whole life and they never had, there was very, very little of those kind of instances with any of our dogs. But then we got Cardigan and within 6 months there was a big incident, but nothing since. Like it can be really variable what those
hit or miss.
expenses occur. I
And
always wondered
Get it.
I always wondered if the insurance was worth it or not.
I think it depends on the owners and how attentive they are. But I will say, like, I know somebody who shows dogs, and she was living on a bartender's salary, so she did the insurance, and she always said to me, like, it's basically saved my life, because she would have been in a really difficult decision where she just didn't have the money. And so for her, having that monthly thing was, I mean, it's all a wash in the end, I think, if you have a dog that lives a long life. But on the other hand, it enabled her to be able to have a dog. If she had that $30 payment every month, that was something she could do.
Yeah,
If
I
she
mean,
had
a premium is something you can plan on, but
exactly.
$30 isn't bad. That doesn't sound like out of, proportion or anything. Because even if your dog lives 10 years, that's one decent surgery,
Yep.
I mean, you're talking about then like a $3,000 or $4,000 lifetime investment. That's like it. I mean, lots of dogs have ACL surgery or need it, and that's pretty expensive.
Yep.
Yes, and for our family, it was emergency surgery late at night on a holiday.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it turned out to be $9,000.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh,
When Cardigan was attacked on Thanksgiving, and they actually just waited until Monday. Like they couldn't have gotten a surgeon in anyway, but they were like, we can support her jaw. She'll be fine until Monday. And it will save you like 100% or, like, ours would have been like that 9 instead of 4.
Right. And they couldn't wait because she was going down. Yeah.
Yeah. If it's your digestive system, that's a whole different thing. Right.
And I will also give you the advice of, like, I'd already start asking around about good vets, and I would also like create a really good rapport with a vet, because they're so abused by people who don't want to pay the bills. Right. I mean, literally, when I was at the hospital, I sat there for hours and watched everybody at the front desk get yelled at for hours. And that's normal, because people they don't understand it's a triage situation, or they get shocked at the bill, but they're carrying, a Chanel bag or wearing Air Jordans, and they're yelling about, like, it's just, these are things that people do. And if you're super polite and nice and caring about your vet, they take care of you. So like when I showed up with Peppa and I had this problem and they were going to close, at some point, they were like, no, we are going to get Peppa in here and get her seen. You know what I mean? Like when they're overscheduled and don't have a ton of access, if they like you, like they will make that effort because they're abused by so many people out there. It's been really eye-opening. Like I didn't realize people could be so difficult, like en masse like that. And that just being kind really goes a long way with the vets, you know?
Well, I have a acquaintance who is a vet.
Oh, that's awesome.
We were thinking about going to her, but she is a little far away, so I'm not too sure. Might be better to go to someone closer.
I'm gonna get going, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye,
Have a
Miss
good
Julie.
week.
Bye, Julie.
Julie.
Good night.
Yeah, it's nearly 5 my time, so that means it's nearly 8 East Coast.
Yeah, I think I'm rolling it up. I almost made it back to where I was at the beginning of the day.
Good for you.
Yeah. I'm surprised, but it went faster the second time around.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
This
Bye,
session went
Audrey.
good. Bye, Audrey.
Bye-bye.
I'm gonna finish my row here.
All
I'm
right,
gonna
guys, it's
finish my
starting to
row and
rain.
hold up my swatch.
It's starting to
Okay.
rain, so I'm heading in.
Bye,
Bye.
Jody.
Bye.
Night,
Bye-bye.
Jody. Good to see you.
Okay, I'm almost done with my swatch. So thank you guys. Here's my Target swatch in case anybody wants to see it. I don't know how well you want it
Oh,
lit.
nice.
Very nice.
Nice.
Right? It's stiffer than I thought it would be. Pretty,
Is that
pretty
7?
cool.
It'll get really soft when you wash it though.
No, I mean, it's not as, I thought it was gonna be, because the pattern calls for DK and this is the Target Sport. I thought it would be more fluid.
Oh, yeah, no, it has a lot of body.
Yeah, way more than I expected. Like I knew it did from doing it on 8s on the
Yeah.
shawl, but
It's still gonna be a thinner fabric, but
I
it
love
is
that.
gonna, but at that gauge, it still has body. You know how Shetland will do that?
Yeah.
It'll have, yeah, it's not like Shetland at all. It's much softer and spongier, but
yeah, spongy's a good word for this yarn. A really good word for this yarn. Oh, I'm so excited. This is going to make the most amazing pullover. And I think I'm going to wear it like all winter here.
Wait till
Yeah,
you
that'll
wash
Nice
it.
white pullover. I mean, come on. It's like a uniform sweater. It's amazing.
Yep.
and that's
So
what you want. You want something you really look forward to picking up and knitting all the time, you know, and that kind of sweater for me is something I always look forward to. I know I can knit it wherever I am. I can bring it in the car, bring it to the dentist, whatever.
And this Target feels so good even before I've washed it on bare skin. Like it's going to be amazing, you know, with just a bra.
Just so put it in your mouth.
Really.
Oh, that was funny.
I'm so glad she said that because I totally do that too. So
Oh, I
I'm
do
so
too.
glad.
I never put the yarn in my mouth. That just
Oh,
surprises
really?
so much. I always just do it in my hand.
We saw one time Al caught it and he was like, did she just spit in her hand? He was like stunned. He was like, wow, what's she doing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, I mean, after it goes in your mouth, it still goes on your hand, right?
Right.
So you might as well just start there.
Yeah.
I don't like the yarn in my mouth thing. All the little fibers, and I just feel like for hours I'm pulling fiber out of my mouth.
Well,
Well,
what
you might
really
as well
caught
get
me
used to
was
that, Carrie.
when Anne said, yeah, but you don't know what else is in there either.
Yeah.
I was like, oh boy.
Well, especially the unwashed, you know, it's unwashed. I mean, the the wool is clean, but when you wash it and you see the color of the water, it definitely makes you not want to put it in your mouth.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
So do you think water, just a glass of water, would be just as good?
Well, the enzymes in your saliva do act as a catalyst for the felting. But that said, water might work just as well. I just never do it with water. I always use spit.
I've never had success with water. I've tried, and I think it's the spinning oil repels it, but our saliva like breaks through the oil.
Oh, interesting.
That's my theory,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know Jack, so I believe him.
Maybe I could just get the puppy to lick it.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Probably would work.
Train
And then
it
you can
to
take it to the
enjoy
vet.
wool. That's smart.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't eat it.
That's right. You don't want to
Licking
train
the
them.
oil.
It's just like kids. Like I said, you don't want to inadvertently train them to do something bad, like
Yeah,
eat your
that's true.
yard.
Yeah.
Mhm. Like when my brother had a puppy one time, I was visiting, and the puppy would jump up on him and he'd kind of scold it, and I was like, you're teaching the puppy to jump on you. He's like, I'm not, I'm yelling at it. I'm like, yeah, but you're giving it attention for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't know that you're yelling, it just knows that it's getting attention every time it jumps on you. So it just keeps doing it more and more. He's like, oh.
That's one of the best things about puppy school is you become really aware of how to communicate with the dog. You know,
They really shouldn't call it
especially if
puppy
you're
school. They really should call it owner school.
It is. You're the
It
one
is.
getting trained, but it's worth it. It's so worth it.
And you know what?
Madison was
There's
in school for an entire year.
there's a show on Amazon Prime called It's Me or the Dog. It's got 3 seasons of this British dog trainer that goes to people's houses in the United States mostly, but there's a British version too. And she's really, really good. And I picked up so many tricks from her that are really obvious after you see it, but really make a lot of sense. And she really loves dogs, and it sounds silly, but I learned so much from watching that show. It's a really good one. And I think Sherry's not on tonight, but she watched it for a while too when they were getting ready for their puppy.
Yeah, yeah. I went to the library today and got some books. And
one of my favorite things I did that nobody taught me to do, but I just started doing it because my sister did it with her kids. I guess there was like this trend where moms would use hand signals before kids could use words, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she taught her kids before they could talk, like, if you're all done, all done.
Mm-hmm.
And I started doing that with my dogs because all done is their release command. Like, we're done doing an exercise, or I tell them it's okay, you can go play or do whatever you want now. I go, all done. And then I started having like hand signals. When I do come, I do this. If I sort of do this with my hand and the dog sees me, they're supposed to come up with their nose and touch my hand. It means I want them over here. And they seem to get hand signals a little better than words. So when I combined the two, it helped them learn the words better.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just something I randomly started doing, and it's been great, because sometimes if Maddox is sort of like, yeah, I don't think I want to come, and then I'm like, come, like, come here, he's like, oh, she means it, like, you know. So I don't know why, but whatever.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, there's so many different tricks, and I know the doodles can be like super playful and challenging, but so much fun when they're puppies. So you're gonna have a blast.
To be really smart. That's what.
Yeah,
Poodles are really smart.
Yeah, you're gonna have a great time, and you're gonna inadvertently like find dog hair like in your dough bread. I mean, they don't shed like my dogs, but you know,
It can't be worse than my hair. I'm always finding my hair everywhere. So
exactly. I was finishing up my herring weave. All I have left to do is do the band on it. I finally have it seamed and all of that stuff. And I found some of like Rex hair in it. And I was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna leave it there. Rex was part of this knitting story.
Aw.
So yeah, it gets into things and then you kind of love it, you know, in a weird way. So anywho, well, I'm gonna get going, guys. I gotta go get some dinner.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I'm
time
gonna take off too.
in between the raindrops. Good night. See you next
Good
week.
night, everybody.
I'm so
Bye.
excited for you, Carrie. Bye.
Yeah, I'll see you in a couple weeks. We're going on vacation next week.
Good for you.
Okay.
Have a good time.
Okay, bye-bye.
Have a wonderful